The evening of the awards ceremony is a momentous one, a culmination of Mara's hard work, determination, and growth over the past 2 years. The grand hall, adorned with elegant decorations and filled with the luminaries of the glitter pack, buzzes with excitement and anticipation. As the honoree for the new Entrepreneur of the Year, Mara is the center of attention, her presence commanding the room. Dressed in a gown that accentuates her poise and grace, Mara exudes confidence and elegance. Her journey, marked by personal challenges and triumphs, has led her to this moment of recognition and praise. She is not just an entrepreneur, but a symbol of resilience and innovation within the Glitter Pack community. As her name is announced, the crowd erupts into applause, a wave of admiration and respect washing over the hall. Laura and Leonard, beaming with pride, lead the applause from their seats. Their support has been unwavering, a constant through the ups and downs of Mara's journey. In the audience, little Paxton, nearly 2 years old, is cradled in the arms of Leo. The toddler's eyes are fixed on his mother, a look of innocent wonder on his face. Leo, who has openly expressed his feelings for Mara over the years, holds Paxton with a protective and affectionate ease. Rumors have circulated about his paternity, but Mara remains unfazed by the whispers. Her focus has always been on her child and her aspirations, not on the misconceptions of others. After the award is presented and the applause subsides, Laura and Leonard approach Mara, their eyes shining with a mix of joy and admiration. They commend her for the choices she made 2 years ago, 40 thin to heal, to grow, and to become the remarkable woman she is today. They recognize her resilience, her ability to turn adversity into an opportunity for growth. Then comes the moment that marks a new beginning in Mara's life. Laura and Leonard, with a sense of ceremonial importance, inform her that the M Hotel, the enterprise she has so skillfully managed, is now her property. This gesture is not just a transfer of ownership, but a recognition of her capabilities and a testament to the trust and confidence they have in her. Mara, overwhelmed by the gesture, feels a surge of emotions. The hotel, which she has nurtured and grown, is now truly hers. It's a symbol of her journey, her struggles, and her triumphs. Owning and managing the pack business is not just a professional milestone, it's a personal victory, a reflection of her journey from the depths of despair to the heights of success. The evening is a celebration of Mara's achievements, a recognition of her journey, and an acknowledgement of her role as a leader within the pack. Surrounded by her family, her friends, and her pack, Mara stands tall, a figure of strength, resilience, and hope, ready to embark on this new chapter of her life with the same determination and grace that has brought her this far. As the awards ceremony continues, a notable moment unfolds that highlights Mara's growing influence and recognition beyond her own pack. 4 Lunas from neighboring and distinguished packs approach Mara, their presence adding a sense of gravitas to the celebration. First, there is Emma Clamper, the Luna of Wolf's Claw. Emma, known for her keen intellect and diplomatic skills, extends her hand to Mara with a warm smile. "Your achievements are truly inspiring," she says, her voice tinged with genuine admiration. "To accomplish so much at such a young age, and under challenging circumstances, speaks volumes about your strength and character." Following Emma is Sharon Yarden, the Luna of the Purple Moon Pack. Sharon, whose leadership has been marked by progressive changes in her pack, nods approvingly at Mara. "You've set a remarkable example, Mara. Your hard work and dedication are commendable. It's young leaders like you who are shaping the future of our communities." Then, Clara Moore, the middle-aged Luna of Wolfshire, steps forward. Claire's experience and wisdom are well respected across packs. With a gentle smile, she places a hand on Mara's shoulder. "Your journey has been a beacon of hope and resilience. You've turned adversity into triumph. We're all incredibly proud of you," she says, her eyes reflecting her sincere respect. Lastly, She Parker, the Luna of Moonsheath, joins the group. She, known for her vibrant personality and innovative ideas, beams at Mara. What you've done is extraordinary. Balancing motherhood with leading a successful business is no small feat. You're not just a leader, you're an inspiration to many, she comments enthusiastically. Surrounded by these influential and powerful women, Mara feels a sense of camaraderie and support. Their words of praise and encouragement are not just formalities, but a recognition of her hard-earned success. This moment signifies her rising stature, not just within her pack, but in the wider community of packs. The acknowledgement from such esteemed Lunas cements her role as a leader and a symbol of empowerment. As the Lunas converse with Mara, sharing insights and experiences, there's a sense of unity and mutual respect. The gathering of these leaders around Mara is a testament to her impact and the respect she has garnered through her achievements. It is a moment that underscores the changing dynamics in the werewolf communities, where young dynamic leaders like Mara are emerging, bringing with them new ideas and fresh perspectives. The ceremony continues, but for Mara, this particular interaction stands out as a poignant reminder of her journey and the positive impact she has had. It is a reaffirmation of her efforts and a motivation to continue on her path of leadership and innovation. Mara would not have achieved this if she had been with Lucian. She was glad she made the decision and left everything behind to live her desired life. Before she got married, she always wondered why people get married if they want to get divorced. Until she went through the same, she realized divorce could be a good thing too if things are not meant to be. It could be a new start, new life, new motivation, and everything to achieve. Chapter 222. The Tidbits. Negative 222. The revelation about the M Hotel being situated on land that was once part of the Lethe Pack, but now belonged to the Glitter Pack, came as a surprise to Mara. She learned from her parents that due to boundary adjustments made during a pack council meeting some time ago, the territories of the Lethe and Glitter Packs had been redefined. This redrawing of boundaries meant that, although still within the geographical area traditionally controlled by the Lethe Pack, the M Hotel had officially become a property of the Glitter Pack. The M Hotel, renowned for its once luxurious ambiance and service, now stood in a state of quiet desolation. The bustling activity and vibrancy that once defined it had faded, leaving in its wake a need for revitalization and renewal. Mara's parents, recognizing her business acumen and leadership, entrusted her with the task of breathing new life into the hotel. A challenge Mara accepted with a mix of determination and anticipation. Returning to her room, Mara found herself enveloped in a sea of memories and reflections. Her thoughts drifted back to the events of 2 years ago, the twists and turns that life had taken since then, and the intermittent news she had received about Lucian and the Lethe Pack. She recalled that the hotel was initially scheduled to host the Luna ceremony for Camila, Lucian's prospective mate, a ceremony that never came to pass. The news from the Lethe Pack painted a picture of ongoing turmoil and uncertainty. Camila had yet to ascend as Luna, her path obstructed by a new contender, a beautiful and charismatic supermodel named Sue. This rivalry, marked by both ambition and beauty, had left the position of Luna contested. Adding to the pack's instability, Lucian, meanwhile, found himself under increasing scrutiny from the Pact Council. The council, concerned with the future and succession of the pack, pressed him to decide his family life. The urgency in their tone was clear. The pack needed a stable and established leadership, a requirement that seemed to elude Lucian amidst the ongoing challenges. For Mara, reflecting on these developments, there was a sense of irony. The Lethe Pack, once a symbol of power and control under Lucian's leadership, was now grappling with internal conflicts and uncertainty. The delay in establishing a Luna, the pressures from the Pack Council, and Lucian's own indecisiveness stood in stark contrast to the decisive and focused path she had carved for herself. In her room, amidst the solitude and quiet, Mara couldn't help but feel a twinge of vindication mixed with a complex web of emotions toward Lucian and his predicament. Her journey had taken her far from the world of pack politics and personal entanglements into a realm of self-reliance and empowerment. As she prepared to undertake the task of transforming the M Hotel, Mara felt a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges that lay ahead were not just about reviving a property, but also about continuing her journey of growth and self-discovery. The hotel, standing at the crossroads of the Lethe and Glitter packs, was symbolic of her journey Sunday one that had traversed various territories, both literal and metaphorical, and had now brought her to a place of leadership and potential. In the quiet of her room, as she laid out her plans for the hotel's revival, Mara felt a sense of clarity and focus. The irony of the situation with the Lethe pack and Lucian served as a backdrop to her own story of resilience and success, a story that was still unfolding with each decision she made and each challenge she faced. Mara's journey is marked by a complex tapestry of emotions, shaped by her past experiences with Lucian and Camilla. The pain of losing Silas, a loss that she attributes to their actions, is a wound that runs deep, a scar on her heart that has defined much of her path. The thought of what might have been Sidia's life with 2 children often crosses her mind. A bittersweet reminder of a future that was cruelly snatched away. In her quieter moments, the idea of revenge, of seeking retribution for the pain and loss inflicted upon her and Silas, surfaces in her thoughts. It is a natural response to the injustice she feels, a way to channel the anger and hurt that sometimes threatens to overwhelm her. However, the presence of her son Paxton acts as a balm to her wounded heart. Paxton, with his innocent laughter and boundless curiosity, brings a sense of joy and peace that dulls the sharper edges of her pain. He is a reminder of the beauty and love that still exists in her life, a symbol of her strength and resilience. As Mara watches Paxton grow, each day with him reinforces her decision to focus on the present and the future, rather than dwell on the past. Her son's growth and happiness become her priority, overshadowing the darker thoughts of vengeance. Gradually, Mara comes to a profound realization that the best form of revenge is to live a life that is fulfilled in content, one that Lucian and Camilla have no part in. She understands that allowing herself to be consumed by thoughts of revenge would only keep them in her life, in her thoughts, granting them a significance they no longer deserve. Mara decides to let go of her desire for revenge, not out of forgiveness for Lucian and Camilla, but out of a sense of self-preservation and a desire to focus on what truly matters: her son, her work, and her own well-being. She recognizes that they are not worthy of her time or energy. This decision marks a turning point in Mara's life. It signifies a shift from a past defined by hurt and anger to a future focused on healing and growth. She chooses to invest her energy into nurturing Paxton, managing the M Hotel, and building a life filled with purpose and joy. Mara's choice to let go of revenge and focus on her own life is a testament to her inner strength and the depth of her character. It is a decision that allows her to break free from the chains of the past and embrace a future of her own making. In this new chapter of her life, Mara stands as a figure of resilience, a woman who has overcome great adversity and emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Chapter 223, Mara's Worries. Ch negative. 223. As Paxton's birthday approaches, Mara finds herself caught in a whirlwind of planning and contemplation. Her office, usually a haven of organization and calm, reflects her divided attention papers related to the M Hotel's revival on one side, and on the other, ideas and themes for Paxton's upcoming birthday celebration. Amidst her busy schedule, her thoughts occasionally drift to Lucian. The possibility of him discovering Paxton's true parentage looms in her mind like a dark cloud. She fears the potential consequences, the most alarming being Lucian's claim over Paxton. This fear, though unspoken, is a constant undercurrent in her daily life. In the midst of this, Leo enters her office, Paxton cradled in his arms. The child's presence instantly brings a smile to Mara's face, a momentary distraction from her worries. Leo, ever attentive, senses the undercurrent of concern in Mara's demeanor. Are you planning to head to the M Hotel soon? How long do you think you'll be staying there? Leo asks, his tone gentle, trying to gauge her state of mind. Mara looks up from her papers, her gaze settling on Paxton's cheerful face. I might stay for a while, she replies, her voice laced with determination. It all depends on how quickly I can get the hotel back on track. Paxton will be coming with me, of course. Leo nods, understanding the importance of the task ahead. I'll join you as soon as I sort out some pack issues. He offers his statement reflecting his desire to be there for her and Paxton. Mara, however, is wary of Leo's intentions. She values his friendship and support, but is conscious of the boundaries she has set. Leo, you have your responsibilities as alpha. You don't need to put me at the center of everything. I've told you what you are hoping for. It is not possible between us. Leo looks at her, his expression one of quiet resolve. Mara, I understand your concerns, but being there for you and Paxton is my choice. It is something I do of my own free will, he says sincerely. The room is filled with a mix of emotions, Mara's guarded independence, Leo's unwavering support, and the innocent unawareness of young Paxton. Mara appreciates Leo's friendship and the stability he brings into her and her son's life, but she remains firm in her decision to maintain a certain distance. She is determined to forge her path, one that is not reliant on romantic entanglements, but is instead focused on her son and her ambitions. As Leo leaves the office, Mara turns her attention back to her work, her mind a blend of professional focus and personal reflections. She is a woman who has faced numerous challenges, and while the shadow of Lucian and the complexities of her relationship with Leo linger, her primary focus remains Clear Sweep Paxton and the successful revival of the M Hotel. In this endeavor, she is not just rebuilding a business, but also reinforcing her independence and strength. As a leader and a mother, Mara holds a deep sense of gratitude for Leo's unwavering presence in her life. His role transcends that of a mere acquaintance or colleague. He has become a source of warmth, a pillar of confidence, and a steadfast supporter through her various challenges. His companionship and the comfort it brings are invaluable to her, especially in the context of the complex dynamics of pack life and the burdens of leadership. However, Mara's feelings towards Leo are firmly rooted in the realms of friendship and camaraderie. Despite his evident feelings and the support he offers, she cannot reciprocate his romantic interest. This boundary, clear in her mind, has been a topic of many conversations between them. She has tried, with great care and respect for their friendship, to communicate her feelings, to make him understand that her heart sees him as nothing more than a friend and confidant. In her efforts to gently steer Leo away from his unrequited feelings, Mara even attempted to play matchmaker, hoping to see him find happiness with someone else. She thought of Sophia, a member of their pack, and her best friend, whose personality and interests seemed to align with Leo's. Despite her best efforts, these matchmaking attempts proved to be futile. Leo's heart, it seemed, was steadfast in its affection for Mara. This situation, compounded by Leo's frequent presence in her and Paxton's life, has led to misconceptions within their community. The sight of Leo, an alpha, so often with Mara and her son, caring for Paxton with almost paternal affection, has fueled rumors. The pack, always keen on the personal lives of their members, especially their leaders, has come to the erroneous conclusion that Paxton is the son of both Mara and Leo. Mara finds herself in a delicate situation, caught between her appreciation for Leo's friendship and the need to maintain her independence and respect his emotional well-being. The misunderstandings about Paxton's parentage, while baseless, are a source of quiet frustration for her. She understands the importance of clarity and truth, but also the complexities of human emotions and the challenges of navigating them without causing hurt or estrangement. As she prepares for the journey to the M Hotel, Mara reflects on these intertwined relationships, her friendship with Leo, the future of her son Paxton, and the perceptions of those around her. Her focus remains steadfast on her goals and the well-being of her son, but she is acutely aware of the need to manage the delicate balance of her relationships, especially her friendship with Leo, which has become an integral part of her life. She hoped Leo to find happiness in someone else rather than with her, because Mara was beyond broken and was in no shape to accept any man in her life anymore. She conveyed this to Leo many times, but he said it was his choice. If there was any shortcoming in her life, that would be the happiness of Leo. Even though she doesn't reflect his romantic feelings, she appreciated him for what he has done to her, and also appreciates whatever the bond they shared. Chapter 224. The Exhibition. Negative 224. The spacious living room of Mara's home buzzed with an air of excitement as she gathered her trusted allies for a special mission, planning a themed birthday party for Paxton. The young boy, much like his father Lucian, had an aversion to crowds, prompting Mara to create an intimate celebration exclusively for close family. With a phone call, Mara rallied her reliable team, Susan, Taylor, Laura, and Leonard. Each one willingly accepted the invitation to assist in the arrangements for Paxton's upcoming birthday. The promise was made to have everything ready by the time the special day arrived. Susan, the creative force with an eye for aesthetics, immediately began brainstorming theme ideas, envisioning a celebration that would capture Paxton's imagination. Taylor, the practical and organized one, took charge of logistics, ensuring that every detail from decorations to gifts would be seamlessly coordinated. Laura and Leonard, Mara's parents, embraced the role of doting grandparents, ready to shower Paxton with love and joy. Mara expressed her heartfelt gratitude, acknowledging the significance of their involvement in making Paxton's birthday memorable. "Thank you all for being a part of this. Paxton may not enjoy large gatherings, but I want his birthday to be filled with joy and warmth. Your help means the world to me," Mara said, a genuine smile gracing her face. The planning session unfolded with laughter and shared ideas, turning the living room into a makeshift command center for birthday surprises. Susan sketched out vibrant decorations, Taylor drafted a detailed checklist, and Laura and Leonard shared anecdotes from their own experiences planning celebrations for Mara when she was a child. As the plans for Paxton's birthday took shape, Mara's phone buzzed with notifications from the M Hotel Revival project. Despite the dual responsibilities tugging at her attention, motherhood and business leadership, Mara approached each task with unwavering dedication. With a final round of collaborative discussions and a shared sense of excitement, the team dispersed, ready to bring their plans to fruition in time for Paxton's birthday. Mara returned to her work on the M Hotel, a revitalization project that held both professional and personal significance. In the days that followed, the home became a hub of activity. Decorations were carefully chosen to fit the chosen theme, and each family member took on specific roles to ensure a smooth execution. Mara, balancing the demands of business and family, found solace in the support of her trusted companions. As the birthday approached, Mara reflected on the importance of creating cherished memories for Paxton. The intimate celebration, crafted with love and attention to Paxton's preferences, promised to be a moment of joy in the midst of their bustling lives. The day arrived, and as Paxton entered the transformed space, adorned with decorations that mirrored his favorite interests, a sense of wonder lit up his eyes. The themed party, orchestrated by Mara's dedicated team, became a testament to the power of family, love, and the art of creating moments that would linger in the hearts of those who mattered most. Days passed. It's the day. Susan's paintings exhibition. Mara, adorned in a resplendent red dress, graced the room with an undeniable aura of elegance. The gown, designed with a half-shoulder silhouette, shimmered with intricate crystal embellishments that caught the light, creating a dazzling effect. The choice of red not only complemented her radiant complexion, but also accentuated the regal poise she exuded. Her almond-shaped eyes, a deep and mesmerizing shade of wavy pitch black, held an ethereal quality that seemed to draw people into their captivating depths. The play of light in her bluish-brown orbs added a subtle complexity, giving her gaze an enchanting and expressive quality. As she moved, the crystals on her dress caught the light, creating a subtle dance of sparkles that mirrored the sparkle in her eyes. The dress, tailored to perfection, showcased Mara's graceful silhouette, emphasizing her curves with a touch of sophistication. Her choice of attire not only spoke of her refined taste, but also hinted at a quiet confidence that radiated from within. With every step, Mara carried herself with a regal grace, the gown's flowing fabric trailing behind her like a cascade of scarlet dreams. The ensemble, a harmonious blend of timeless design and modern allure, perfectly complemented the occasion, making her a vision that lingered in the minds of those fortunate enough to witness her presence. As Mara navigated the room, her ethereal beauty became a topic of hushed admiration, turning heads and drawing appreciative glances. The red dress, adorned with crystals that glistened like stars, served as a testament to Mara's ability to effortlessly embody both strength and grace. In that moment, Mara stood as a beacon of beauty, her attire mirroring the brilliance of her spirit. The red dress became not just a garment, but a symbol of the woman who wore it, a woman whose presence commanded attention and whose allure left an indelible impression on the hearts of those fortunate enough to witness her radiance. The art exhibition showcasing Susan's paintings is a significant event, not just for Susan, but for the entire glitter pack, as it highlights the artistic achievements of one of their own. Susan's journey to becoming a renowned painter has been a source of pride for her family, and her success is a reflection of the pack's commitment to nurturing diverse talents and interests. Mara, ever supportive of her sister, attends the exhibition with her family, including her adorable son Paxton. The event is held in a spacious gallery within the Glitter Pack territory, beautifully adorned with Susan's vibrant and evocative paintings. Each artwork tells a story, a testament to Susan's skill and emotional depth as an artist. Mara felt proud of her sister's work and achievements. She praised her sister's skills in front of the media with pride. As they arrive, Mara and Paxton quickly become the focus of media attention and admiration from the attendees. Paxton, with his innocent charm and delightful demeanor, captures the hearts of those around them. Mara, poised and elegant, handles the attention with grace, her pride in her sister evident in her every word and gesture. Throughout the event, Mara meets with several influential figures from various packs and communities. These individuals, drawn to the exhibition both by Susan's growing reputation and the Glitter Pack's standing, engage in conversations with Mara about her endeavors, particularly the revival of the M Hotel. During these discussions, Mara shares her vision for the hotel, outlining her plans to transform it into a thriving hub that reflects the culture and spirit of the Glitter Pack. Her passion and determination are palpable, resonating with her audience. The influential figures express admiration for her ambition and the strides she has already made in her business ventures. Encouraged by her vision and the potential of the M Hotel as a landmark project, some attendees offer their support. There are promises of investments and collaborations should she successfully rejuvenate the hotel. These assurances are not just mere words, they represent a belief in Mara's capabilities and the future potential of her project. Mara, heartened by this support, feels a renewed sense of motivation and confidence. The event, while a celebration of Susan's artistic achievements, also becomes a catalyst for Mara in garnering support and recognition for her own ambitious project. As the exhibition winds down, Mara leaves with a sense of accomplishment and hope The evening has not only been a testament to her sister's talent, but has also opened doors for Mara's future endeavors. Surrounded by her family, with her son by her side, she looks forward to the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead in revitalizing the M Hotel, buoyed by the promise of support and the belief in her vision. Chapter 225, Mother and Son. -225. That night, after the exhilarating yet exhausting art exhibition, Mara returns home with her son Paxton. The familiar comfort of their home envelops them, a stark contrast to the buzz and formality of the event they've just left. As they enter, the seriousness and responsibilities of the day seem to melt away, replaced by the simple joy of a mother spending time with her child. Paxton, brimming with the boundless energy of a 2-year-old, is eager to engage in one of his favorite games, hide and seek. This game, a beloved activity of his deceased brother Silas, holds a special place in Mara's heart. It's a poignant reminder of the past, yet it also brings a sense of continuity and connection between her two sons. With a mischievous glint in his eyes, Paxton runs off to hide, his little feet pattering against the floor. Mara watches him go, a smile spreading across her face. She counts out loud, playfully drawing out the moment, giving Paxton time to find his hiding spot. "Ready or not, here I come," Mara calls out, her voice laced with feigned seriousness. She begins her search, peeking behind curtains, under tables, checking each of Paxton's usual hiding spots. Her son's giggles, barely contained, echo through the house, guiding her like a beacon. Finally, Mara finds Paxton tucked away in a cozy nook, his attempt to stay hidden betrayed by his infectious laughter. "Got you," she exclaims, scooping him up in her arms. Paxton wriggles with delight, his laughter filling the room, a sound that warms Mara's heart. Their playful banter continues, with Paxton chattering in his toddler language, a mixture of half-formed words and expressive gestures. Mara engages with him, responding to his babble as if they were having the most profound conversation. This moment of playful interaction is more than just a game. It is a cherished time where Mara can set aside the complexities of her life and immerse herself in the world of her son. As the night wears on, their playtime evolves into a quieter, more tender moment. Mara reads Paxton his favorite bedtime story, the rhythmic cadence of her voice weaving a tapestry of imagination and dreams for her son. In these moments, the bond between mother and son is palpable, a connection forged through love, play, and the shared experiences of their day-to-day life. Eventually, Paxton drifts off to sleep. His features relaxed in peaceful slumber. Mara watches him, a sense of contentment and love washing over her. Despite the challenges and losses she has faced, moments like these with Paxton are a reminder of the beauty and joy that life still holds. In the quiet of the night, with her son sleeping soundly, Mara reflects on the day's events and the journey ahead, her heart filled with hope and determination for the future she is building for herself and her son. Soon, it turns to night. Paxton, the sleeping monster, wakes up with a loud cry. Mara immediately drops her work and goes to her son. She tends to him and calms him down. And again, it's the start of another calamity. Paxton starts playing with Mara's files, laptop, and her things. Mara almost lost her cool but played it down. As the day transitions into the evening, Mara's mother, Laura, calls her to dinner. Entering the dining hall, Mara is greeted by the familiar sight of her family gathered around the table, an atmosphere of warmth and togetherness enveloping the room. Each face turns towards her as she arrives, a mixture of affection and anticipation in their eyes. Ania, the family's loyal maid who has been with them for years, gently takes Paxton from Mara's arms. With the practiced ease of someone who has been part of the family for a long time, she lovingly begins to feed Paxton his milk. Mara, appreciative of Ania's help, thanks her for allowing her the chance to enjoy her meal without distraction. Ania's presence has always been a source of support for the family, especially for Mara, in managing the balance between motherhood and her other responsibilities. As Mara settles into her seat, the conversation naturally turns to her upcoming departure to the Lethe Pack territory. The family expresses their concerns, reminding her to be cautious and mindful of both her and Paxton's well-being. Their words are filled with care and concern, underlining the importance of safety amidst the complexities of pack territories and politics. Mara reassures them of her preparedness and the measures she has in place to ensure their safety. She understands their worries, but her determination to revive the M Hotel is unwavering. This project is not just a business venture for her, it's a symbol of her independence and a testament to her capabilities. The mood at the dinner table lightens as the meal progresses. Owen, Leonard, Taylor, and Susan engage in playful banter, their conversation filled with friendly jibes and laughter. Their interaction reflects the close-knit bond they share, a camaraderie that has been a constant in Mara's life. Laura, ever the matriarch, occasionally interjects to keep the conversation in check, her attempts often met with good-natured teasing from the others. Her presence brings a sense of balance and order to the family dynamics, a role she has embraced with love and dedication. Throughout the dinner, Mara feels a deep sense of belonging and support. Her family, with their unique personalities and unwavering support, forms the backbone of her strength. As they share stories, discuss plans, and enjoy each other's company, Mara is reminded of the invaluable support system she has in the Moonshadow Foundation that gives her the courage to face the challenges ahead. The evening passes in a blur of laughter, conversation, and familial warmth, a much-needed respite for Mara before she embarks on her journey to the Lethe Pack territory. As dinner concludes and the family disperses, Mara takes a moment to savor the feeling of love and unity that surrounds her, a reminder of the precious bonds that she cherishes deeply. Chapter 226 Worries. Negative 226. The impending departure weighs heavily on Mara's heart as she contemplates leaving the warm embrace of her family for an extended period. Aware that these moments are precious, she endeavors to make the most of the time remaining with them, cherishing each interaction, each shared laugh, and every small familial ritual that weaves the fabric of their daily life. Paxton, now finished with his milk, waddles over to his grandfather Leonard with the unbridled enthusiasm unique to toddlers. His tiny hands reach up, a universal gesture asking to be lifted into the air, a game he evidently relishes. Leonard, a doting grandfather, is only too happy to oblige, his face lighting up with joy at the request. Laura, ever watchful, chimes in with a gentle reminder to Leonard. "Be careful with him, Leonard. He has just had his milk," she says, her tone a mix of affection and caution. Her words are not just a cautionary note, but a reflection of the attentive care that defines her as a matriarch. Leonard heeds her advice, but proceeds to lift Paxton, albeit more gently than usual, ensuring the child's safety while indulging in the playful activity. Paxton's giggles fill the room, a delightful sound that brings smiles to everyone's faces. The joy of these simple moments creates a vibrant atmosphere in the house, a counterpoint to the underlying sadness of Mara's upcoming departure. Mara watches the interaction, her heart swelling with love and a tinge of sadness. These everyday moments with her family, so full of warmth and joy, are what she will miss the most while she is away. She takes mental snapshots of these scenes, storing them in her memory as a source of comfort and strength for the days ahead when she will be far from home. The laughter and chatter continue, with each family member contributing to the tapestry of their collective happiness. Mara soaks in the familial bliss, knowing that these memories will be a source of solace and motivation as she embarks on her journey to revive the M Hotel. As the evening winds down, Mara feels a profound sense of gratitude for her family Sutton, for their love, support, and the sense of belonging they provide. This family, with its unique dynamics and unwavering bond, forms the cornerstone of her life, a constant reminder of where she comes from and what truly matters. The joyous moments spent with them are a balm to her soul, fortifying her for the journey ahead, and the challenges it may bring. The next day unfolds with a flurry of activity as Mara, Susan, Paxton, and Laura embark on a shopping trip, a final outing before Mara's departure. They decide to bring Taylor along, humorously assigning him the role of the bag carrier, much to his chagrin. Despite his reluctance, Taylor is a good sport, understanding the light-hearted nature of the task and the family's desire to spend time together. The shopping trip becomes an enjoyable excursion, filled with laughter, casual banter, and the occasional good-natured teasing directed at Taylor. They move from store to store, picking out essentials for Mara and Paxton, along with a few indulgences. Paxton's delight at the colorful displays and new surroundings adds to the cheerful atmosphere. Laura, with her experienced eye, helps Mara select practical items, ensuring that they are well prepared for their time away. Upon returning home, the family dives into the task of packing. The living room turns into a staging area, with suitcases open and clothing neatly stacked. Everyone pitches in, folding clothes and organizing items, turning the often tedious task of packing into a communal activity filled with chatter and shared stories. As they pack, the family showers Mara with countless reminders and words of caution, each member expressing their concern in their own way. Laura, with the meticulous care of a mother, double-checks to make sure Mara hasn't forgotten anything essential. Susan adds her own reminders, intermixed with jokes and laughter, lightening the mood. Taylor, still playing along with his role from the shopping trip, helps organize the luggage, ensuring everything is packed efficiently. Eat on time. Feed him well. Try to gain weight. Don't just keep working. Try to visit fun places from time to time. If you need anything, call us anytime. We will visit you at weekends. Take care of Paxton. Take care of yourself, too. Hire a maid if needed. Don't do everything on your own. Stay healthy. Don't eat junk. Call us every day. If you miss us, come to us anytime. Don't be shy to ask help. Enough. You all, I heard them. I heard them. I remember now. Take care. Mara said, closing her eyes dramatically. You should close your ears to stop hearing, sister. I think Susie's stupidity infected you. Stop talking to her, Taylor commented. Who are you calling stupid? Mara and Susan glared at Taylor, scaring the hell out of him. Before Taylor could form an answer, he was gifted with 2 bumps on his head. Paxton, too young to understand the logistics, but sensing the activity around him, toddles around, occasionally helping in his own adorable way. His presence brings a lightness to the moment, a reminder of the joy and innocence that he represents in their lives. Gosh, Paxie, stop helping us, Susan said to her nephew next time, but that cute little bundle just gave her a smile, making her heart and anger melt away. Sigh. Forget it. You are the only person I can't defeat, Susan admits her defeats. Throughout the packing process, Mara feels a mix of emotions of gratitude for her family's care, a touch of sadness at leaving them, and a growing sense of anticipation for the task ahead. The reminders and advice, while sometimes overwhelming, are tokens of her family's love and concern. They serve as a comforting reminder that no matter where she goes, she carries with her the support and love of her family. As the evening draws to a close and the suitcases are finally zipped up, Mara looks around at her family, her heart full. This moment, simple yet profound, is a testament to the bonds they share. With their help and blessings, she feels ready to face the challenges awaiting her at the M Hotel, fortified by the love and support of her closest kin. Chapter 227. A Tearful Adios. Ch negative. 227. At airport. The bustling atmosphere of the airport added a buzz around the Mara family. The family gathered near the check-in counters, the low hum of conversations mixing with the sounds of rolling suitcases and boarding announcements. Owen, Mara's older brother, adjusted his sunglasses with a grin. Airport vibes, huh? Remember to check the departure gate and no getting lost, okay? Mara laughed, playfully rolling her eyes. Brother, I am not a kid. Why was he saying that? She even had a kid. Okay, Mara was not stupid enough to get lost in an airport. She went back and forth to the airports many times. She was quite familiar with the surroundings. She could never be lost. Taylor, her younger brother, shouldered a backpack. My little Paxton, you are going out to play. Have fun and make sure Mom behaves herself. All right, Taylor said. The little Paxton, as if he understood, gave a toothless, silly smile, making Taylor laugh at him. Sigh. What do I do? I will miss you so much, Taylor murmured, as if understanding his uncle's words. Paxton kisses Taylor on the cheek. Paxton's saliva dripped from. Laura, Mara's mother, hugged her daughter with a hint of tears in her eyes. You take care of each other, okay? And don't forget to call as soon as you land. I'll worry otherwise. Okay, Mom. Don't worry, Mara tried to assure her. Take care of Paxi too, Laura said. Her heart was hurting to see her daughter leave. Not to mention, she has a 1.5-year-old son. Susan, Mara's younger sister, handed Paxton a small toy. A little something to keep you company, buddy. Sister, take care. Call us every day. I will, Mara said. Despite all her assurance, for some reason, Owen was not convinced. He felt that his sister might not be able to handle it. Mara, I shall come with you. I will help you settle there and stay there for a few days before returning. Mara heard her brother, Owen Ylva, say for another nth time, Yes. Yes. You should take Owen with you. He will help, Leonard said the most hateful thing from his mouth. Even though he wanted to go there and assist his daughter, he couldn't do to pack duties. He hated being alpha many times these past 2 years. No matter how much he nudged, his son refused to take responsibility for the pack, using the excuse of not finding a mate and being single. That was why he loved daughters. They were sensible. His precious daughter came forward and offered her help with the pack's responsibilities. Now, as she was leaving, he felt his heart ache. She was in front of his eyes all these days. Just the thought of not seeing her made him feel sad. As they approached the departure gate, the family lingered longer, sharing last-minute advice and well wishes. Mara held back tears, grateful for the support surrounding her. Safe travels, Mara. We'll be waiting for updates, Owen said, giving her a brotherly hug. I will take care. You all should take care too. Don't worry too much, Mara said with a smile. Mara never felt this and said to bid bye. But today she felt, so this was what family. A family was like a love nest. She was going out of it, as if sensing her sadness and the lack of chatter around them. Little Paxton started crying. Mara tried to console him, but he couldn't calm down. Paxi, come to Grandma, Laura said, opening her arms. In normal times, Paxton wouldn't come. When he was crying, he only wanted Mara with him, not others. But today he went to her and buried himself in Laura's arms. Immediately, he was surrounded by everyone. XXXX flight will be leaving in 10 minutes. We request all the passengers to board in. The security announcements echoed in the background. Little Paxton started crying even harder. He held Laura's shirt tightly, refusing to let go, as if saying he wanted to stay back. Laura bit back her tears as she gave crying Paxton to her daughter. Laura, Susan, Taylor, Laura, and Leonard kissed Mara and Paxton one last time before saying their byes. Was this why people say airports watch more sincere kisses than wedding halls? Was this why people say airports witness more love than date spots? Maybe. Some people come to show off, some come to receive. The happiness on the faces of people who came to receive them was equal to welcoming a new life into the world. While it's just as sad when people come to see others off, life was just like that. One cries when they lose and becomes happy when receiving, such a simple foundation in every scenario. But people forget it most of the time. Mara and crying Paxton waved one final time before disappearing through the gate. The family watched as they walked toward the plane, a mix of emotions settling in. The airport, a transient hub of emotions, witnessed yet another heartfelt farewell. Chapter 228, Mischief. Ch -228. The sun was just beginning to set as Mara and Paxton made their way through the bustling airport. The atmosphere was a blend of excitement and chaos, with people hurrying to catch their flights and say their goodbyes. Mara's mind, however, was adrift in memories from 2 years ago, when she had embarked on a journey to the Lethe pack on a pack frigate. It was a different time, a different world. As she walked, Mara looked down at Paxton, her heart swelling with love and a tinge of melancholy. His small hand, pink and soft, was a stark contrast to the cold, impersonal surroundings of the airport. Gently pinching his hand, she led him towards their gate, each step taking her further away. Mara's heart thrummed with a mix of anticipation and nostalgia as she led Paxton through the bustling corridors of the airport. The echoes of her steps seemed to blend with the hum of travelers and the distant roar of jet engines, creating a symphony of movement and life. She couldn't help but reminisce about the journey she had 2 years ago, aboard the Lethe pack frigate. Back then, her destination had been the same, yet everything else was different. At that time, she traveled by boat. Now she was going by plane. How has time changed? Along the way, situations changed, people changed, and many things changed. Just like the means of transportation, at that time the destination was the same, but the people who accompanied her and gave her company were different. Even the mood was different. But now, the company was different. The mood was different, and everything was so different. It's just that the destination was the same. The air was heavy with the scent of adventure and the unknown as Mara glanced down at Paxton. His hand, small and delicate, felt warm and reassuring in her grasp. His pink fingers curled around hers, a tangible reminder of her happy and blessed life. Paxton's presence brought a lightness to her heart, a stark contrast to the solitude of her previous journey. Boarding the plane, Mara guided Paxton to their seats, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts and memories. She settled Paxton into his seat, fastening his seatbelt with a gentle, practiced motion. As the plane ascended, the world below shrank away, a tapestry of lights and shadows. This time, she realized her journey was not lonely, but was warm and handful, because he already grabbed the hand of a co-passenger and acting cute with her. Mara smiled at her and looked at her son. "Do you want mommy to hug you, Paxi, as the plane ascends?" Mara asked her son. As if saying yes, he let out a giggle. Mara took her son into her arms and played with him for a while. When he got bored, the little devil refused to stay in her mother's arms. Mara smiled and put him in his seat again. She took out his already prepared milk bottle and made him drink. After having his fill, he continued to play on his own, amusing the co-passengers. Sensing he was being loved, little Paxi became a little bold by getting into their hold. The tranquility of the flight was punctuated by the soft murmurs of passengers and the occasional laughter of children. Mara found herself drifting into a reflective silence, her gaze lost in the clouds outside her window. As the plane took off, Mara tried to distract herself with the view from the window, but her attention was soon captured by the in-flight entertainment. There, on the screen in front of her, was an interview with Lucian, her ex-husband. His familiar features brought a flood of emotions, each one a reminder of what had been and what could never be again. Lucian, Still charismatic and beloved by the public, seemed to have only grown more attractive over time. His story, interspersed with footage of his life and accomplishments, seemed to captivate many of the female passengers. Mara overheard snippets of their conversations, filled with admiration and a hint of longing for the handsome wolf who had once been hers. The interview touched on Lucian's postponed marriage to Camilla, a topic that reignited a flurry of speculation and hopes among the passengers. It was as if the delay had opened a door to possibilities that many had thought closed forever. Mara felt a complex mix of emotions as she watched the screen, her past intertwining with her present. There was a part of her that still ached for what she and Lucian had lost. Yet she knew that their paths had diverged for a reason. She was a different person now, stronger and more resilient, with a new life that included Paxton. Paxton, meanwhile, was blissfully unaware of the turmoil his mother was experiencing. His innocent eyes were fixed on the clouds outside, his imagination taking him on adventures. Her reverie was interrupted by the sudden sound of a cup clattering to the floor. Hearing the sound, she turned and saw the broken pieces of the cup. She knew who was the culprit. It's the D-Devil Paxton. This bundle of devil energy cannot rest for a second. And when commits a mistake, he looks at her with his cute puppy eyes, making her heart melt. How could she scold him after that cute attack? No wonder. His sister calls him Little Devil. Definitely, these were not her traits. But Lucian's. She was the most obedient one, unlike her son. If Paxton had heard his mother's words, he would have been extremely speechless. Paxton, the mischievous spirit, had accidentally knocked over the water of a fellow passenger in the first-class cabin. Shaking her head, she stood up to apologize to the person. Mara's heart raced as she turned to apologize, her words ready to smooth over the minor mishap. I apologize for the inconvenience caused by. Her words stuck, seeing the person suddenly. As she faced the passenger, her breath caught in her throat. There, with a surprised expression and a dampened lap, sat Lucian. Her ex-husband, the man who still haunted her dreams, the very man whom she avoided all these years. Lucian came to attend the same awards function. After that, he was ready to leave. Chapter 229. Meeting Lucian. Ch-negative. 229. Mara didn't anticipate meeting Lucian on the very flight. Not only that, her son seemed to like him. Paxton was trying to climb Lucian's climb. The hum of the plane's engines provided a monotonous soundtrack to Mara's internal struggle. Seated beside Paxton, her son's innocent presence intensified the turmoil within her. Lucian, occupying the seat across the narrow aisle, seemed like an embodiment of the past she had desperately tried to keep hidden. Mara found herself caught between the enigmatic presence of Lucian and the silent innocence of Paxton. The little werewolf, just a year and a half old, clung to Mara's side, his wide eyes absorbing the world around him without uttering a single word. Lucian, the seasoned werewolf, observed the unfolding tableau with a mix of curiosity and a growing sense of recognition. As Paxton played with Lucian's hands, Mara's eyes darted nervously between him and Lucian. She could sense the growing connection between the two, an invisible thread weaving a tapestry of suspicion. Her heart raced with the fear of discovery. Each glance from Lucian, feeling like a step closer to unveiling the secret, she guarded fiercely. The confined space of the plane mirrored the confines of Mara's mind, trapped between the desire to protect Paxton and the inevitability of Lucian unraveling the truth. Mara's throat tightened, and she cast a fleeting glance at Paxton, who remained blissfully unaware. She grappled with the words caught in the suffocating grip of secrecy. The truth, like a caged bird, fluttered within her, yearning to be set free. Lucian's gaze bore into hers, an intensity that felt like a spotlight on her soul. In that moment, the plane suspended between destinations became a microcosm of Mara's internal struggle, caught between the desire to take her son away from here and hide him from Lucian. Mara doesn't want Lucian to have the minimalist idea of her son. Maybe they will not meet each other after this flight. With that, she started claiming down. Seeing his mom, Paxton giggled at her, but still refusing to part with Lucian, surprising her. Lucian couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this reunion than met the eye. His instincts, finely tuned by centuries of survival, tingled with an unspoken understanding. The inexplicable connection between him and the child became a puzzle that begged to be solved. He felt a similar bond when Silas was alive. Was Paxton his? That thought shook him to the core. He looked at her with a sharp gaze. Mara, trying to navigate the complexities of the situation, glanced down at Paxton with a tender smile. She could feel the little one's curiosity radiating like a beacon, even without spoken words. Unaware of the undercurrents swirling in the adult world around him, Paxton gazed up at Mara with an innocence that belied the potential significance of his existence. Lucian, breaking the silence that lingered between them, spoke with a measured tone. Mara, it has been a long time. How are you? I am fine, Alpha Lucian. I found the love of my life. I now have a career, recognition, love, and respect, which I didn't have in the past. Also, I have a son and a fiancé. I am happy, Mara replied. Lucian felt his stung hearing her words, he thought. Paxton was his, or maybe she was lying. She does that often, and he also felt guilty hearing her. He kept her hidden as if she were some shame to him. Now, after he let her go completely, he saw her growth. She became the most successful businesswoman, and not only that, she was being taken as someone who could be looked up to. If she had been his wife, she wouldn't have all these. After her departure, he realized how hard it was to handle Luna's duties. Camila failed them badly, making him do it again. He realized how hard Mara had worked. Dealing with the council had not been easy. The more he thought, the more guilty he felt. Sadly, it's too late. She belongs to someone else now. But that doesn't erase the possibility that Paxton could be his heir. He needs more time to confirm that. Lucian looked at her with discerning eyes as he tried to find some guilty feeling for hiding Paxton. He found none. Maybe she became better in hiding, unlike from past. The distance between them was only 2 feet, but he felt like it's some distance that could not be passed. It looked like they both were standing and watching each other from different worlds. If only he didn't let her go and did not bring Camila 2.5 years ago. Maybe this woman would have been with him and would be playing with a kid like Paxton. Did he regret it? Yes, he did, but he has no guts to ask her to come back. Just then, a thought struck his mind. If Paxton turns out to be his, he will get her back to him by hook or crook. To know whether Paxton belonged to him or not, he needs to spend more time with her. I returned from the glitter pack to oversee the M Hotel area transfer. I was hoping we could catch up at the M Hotel. What do you say? He proposed, looking at Paxton and her. Lucian picked Paxton and made him sit on his lap. Suddenly, he felt at peace. If only Silas was alive, his life would have been perfect. Because with Silas, Mara would have been with him, not with Leo. Mara's eyes flickered between Lucian and Paxton. The suspicion that Paxton might be more than just a curious toddler lingered in the air, a silent question waiting to be answered. Lucian, I appreciate the offer, but we have other plans today. I apologize for rejecting your kindness, Alpha Lucian. Lucian nodded understandingly, but the mystery in his gaze deepened as he watched Mara and Paxton. A subtle intuition whispered to him that Paxton might be his, and this might not be the last time they would be meeting. The bond he felt with Paxton went beyond the ordinary, resonating with the ancient ties that connected werewolf fathers and sons. Mara took Paxton into her arms, which displeased the little devil. He flailed his hands in disapproval, but she ignored it. "We will take our leave, Alpha Lucian," Mara said, and took Paxton away with her. Paxton tried to run back, but Mara held him down. "Listen to Mom. Do not go back. Mom will not like it," she said, looking at her son, as if he understood her words. He took the left-out toy from the seat and played on his own, ignoring his mother. Mother heaved a relieved sigh. This couldn't continue. This kid was developing a bond with Lucian fast too. In less time, she can't lose him. Mara cannot let Paxton face the same thing that Silas has faced. That man only has eyes for Camila and her axe, but not for anyone, be it his own flesh and blood. Even if Paxton was sad and angry at her, she was ready to bear it but not let him get close to Lucian. Soon the flight landed. She took Paxton away with her and started her journey to M Hotel. Throughout the whole process, she made sure not to bump into Lucian. Chapter 230, Meeting Bella. Ch-negative. 230. Mara and Paxton arrived at their villa. Owen bought a house for them even before they moved to the Lethe Pack. He doesn't want Mara to live in the city center, while she runs back to her house for work and everything. He also hired a nanny for her in advance to look after Paxton. Owen thought about everything before Mara could think of anything and arranged it for her in advance. Mara smiled at her brother's considering actions. Her sister-in-law would be a lucky woman. She was sure about that. "Miss Yulva, I am Bella Rita. I am the nanny hired by Mr. Owen Yulva," the woman said. Mara whipped her head in a jerk to look at her. "Oh my God, it's you, Bella. How are you?" "I missed you so much," Mara exclaimed upon seeing her. Bella was her adopted mother's nurse. Bella left, saying that she would meet Mara when fate had plans for them again. But she didn't expect her to end up as her son's nanny. "Calm down. One question at a time. I am fine. I am living happily with my son. He is married and I have a grandson too. But then your brother asked me to help you out till you stay here. He is generous with pay, too. And mostly I wanted to see you and your son," Bella said in a single breath. Mara hugged her tight and sat down with her. Little Paxton got curious after seeing a new person. He waddled towards her with his short legs. His blue eyes, which he took after her mother, were obviously completely blue unlike her. Peered at Bella closely. As if testing her, he tugged on her shirt. Paxton looked at her with his innocent eyes, melting Bella's heart. "Oh my, he is so cute!" Bella exclaimed, taking him into her arms. "He is a devil too," Mara said, rolling her eyes, as if Paxton understood her words. He gave a cute pout to her. "Omo." "He is a smart one too," Bella said, "but he is a bit slow. I want him to call me Mom. I wonder when he will do it." Many kids around his age started talking already, Mara said with a sigh. "How old is he?" she asked. "Will be 2 in 3 months, Mara said. "Many kids talk after they turn 2. Don't compare your child with others. Even my grandson spoke late. He started speaking when he was about to turn 3. Our Paxton will talk when it's his time too," Bella said. "Right, Paxton?" Bella asked, turning towards him. As if Paxton understood, he nodded with a giggle. Bella and Mara laughed at his actions. The 3 of them had their dinner. Mara and Paxton slept off after freshening up. Mara looked at her silently sleeping son and smiled. "No one will take you away from me," she whispered in the dark night as she placed a kiss on Paxton's head. With that, she slept off. Next day, she let Bella take care of Paxton while she went to the M Hotel. The grandeur of the M Hotel, once an emblem of opulence, now echoed with a haunting emptiness. Mara, returning to the heart of her endeavors, was met with a stark reality far bleaker than her most pessimistic forecasts. The vibrancy that once animated its corridors had given way to a palpable sense of neglect. Mara realized the M Hotel was in even worse condition than she had seen. This may take even more time than she had imagined. In an effort to grasp the extent of the damage discreetly, Mara donned the guise of an unassuming waiter. The uniform, a stark departure from the elegance she once wore as the owner, became a camouflage as she moved amongst the staff. Her keen eyes, trained to discern the nuances of quality service, were met with a disheartening realization too. The standards that once defined the M Hotel's excellence were now a distant memory. As Mara silently observed the lackluster performance of the staff, a sudden clamor disrupted the desolate ambiance. The air crackled with tension as a domineering figure made waves among the hotel's patrons. The shock that rippled through the atmosphere was matched by Mara's widening eyes as she recognized the source of 20, Camilla, her former rival. Camilla's presence now with a pronounced belly hinted at a new chapter in her life. Yet her demeanor remained unchanged, arrogant, disdainful, and quick to unleash a storm of humiliation and sarcasm. Mara, dressed as an inconspicuous waiter, found herself at the epicenter of Camilla's scorn. Camilla didn't expect Mara to be here. She thought that since Mara found her identity as the Yulva family heir, she felt happy. She even got to know that Mara was recognized by the locket on her neck. Camilla wished that had stolen the locket and claimed herself to be the daughter of the richest person in the world. But, damn, her oversight made her fall a big. Anyways, now seeing her in the waitress clothes in these shabby clothes made her happy. I see the glitter pack has led you to quite a fall, Mara, Camilla sneered, her words laced with derision. Working as a waitress, how the mighty have fallen. Mara maintained her composure and responded with a calm that belied the tumult within. Tone that arrogance or you may eat your words, Mara said. Your arrogance still didn't die. Even after so much, don't forget how I made you beg that could beg for her forgiveness. Mara's weakness was that day and her son's death. But this woman kept poking at that. Camilla's arrogance escalated the confrontation, drawing the attention of the hotel's secretary. In a twist of fate, the secretary unraveled the truth, confirming Mara's true identity as the owner of the beleaguered M Hotel. The revelation struck Camilla like a blow, her pride wounded and her disdain intensifying. You own this place? Camilla spat, her anger reverberating through the hushed space. I curse this place and everything in it. Camilla couldn't take the fact that Mara was doing better. She has a handsome husband, Leo, and a baby. With those venomous words, Camilla stormed out, leaving behind a room filled with the residue of her animosity. Mara, standing amidst the echoes of the confrontation, felt a heaviness settle upon her shoulders. The M Hotel, once a beacon of her aspirations, now stood with many challenges that could question her and her brother. Alone in the lobby, Mara wrestled with the aftermath of the encounter. The question lingered, a persistent specter in her thoughts. Could Lucian be the father of Camilla's unborn child? There were so many questions in Mara's head, which she couldn't understand. Chapter 231. Invites. Ch-negative. 231. Does the child belong to Lucian? She didn't care anymore about it. Mara went on doing her work. She felt she shouldn't think about them but work on herself. Mara immersed herself in her work at the hotel, channeling her energy into turning the hotel's financial situation around. She worked her ass off. She rarely gets time to spend on herself. Whenever she had little time, she went ahead and spent it with her son. She didn't encounter Lucian or Camilla all these months. Even if they did, she refused to get in touch with them or speak with them. Mara was so immersed in the work that when her family called her, she was either too busy or would be chugging food hurriedly. The calls would be short. Laura came to check on her from time to time, but she didn't have the heart to disturb her. She spent her time with her grandson and sent cooked dishes to Mara every day she was there. She made sure her daughter ate on time when she was there. Finally, the results came out after 2 months. After 2 months of dedicated efforts, the once burdensome bills transformed into profits, earning Mara admiration from her colleagues and recognition from the higher-ups. Her capabilities were evident to everyone around her. The staff in the hotel saw her working hard. Even they were inspired and continued to work hard with her. They were happy when the results were released. The hotel reached its normal days. This was something huge to them. In the past, they didn't even have a single customer in the hotel. But now they do. The staff was satisfied with her efforts. But as for whether Mara was satisfied, that was still a question to be asked. My baby is already turning 2, Mara uttered to herself. Our baby is growing up, Ruby said in her mind with a smile. He is, Mara replied. We will be holding the birthday party in this very hotel. This is the hard work I have put in, Mara said to Ruby. This is also a good way to promote this hotel. Ruby responded. Yes, Mara agreed. I don't want to see Lucian and Camila here, Ruby said honestly. Right now, she detests them the most, but not to the point of getting revenge. Ruby and Mara were just too lazy to deal with them. They would rather not stay or meet them for their own benefit. He is doubting the bond between him and Paxton, so we have to invite him and clarify that Paxton isn't his son, Mara said to Ruby. Right, Ruby agreed. We should protect Paxton. We couldn't do it when Silas was alive, Mara said. In her thoughts, Ruby fell silent. Let's prove Paxton is ours. If we had a mate bond with him, he would have known that Paxton is his son. Yet, I don't get it why he can't smell his own pup, Ruby laid her doubts. God knows what strange thing happened to him. But it's a good thing for us, Mara said. Indeed, it is. If not, we would have lost our son, Ruby agreed. I will just send an invite for courtesy's sake. They can choose to come if they want, Mara said. Ruby agreed. But on the other hand, I don't want them to come here too. Mara was still reluctant. If not for the doubt in Lucian's head, she wouldn't even consider it. Let's think whether we can include him in the guest list or not in the last minute. For now, we have to show off our son, Ruby said. Yes, we have to think of a theme too, Mara said. With that, Mara was immersed in sending out invites. As Paxton's birthday approached, Mara found herself faced with the dilemma of whether to invite Lucian or not. Sophia joined Mara at the hotel a few days before the celebration. Understanding the complexities of Mara's situation, Sophia suggested that the alpha of the Lethe pack and Camila should be on the invitation list. Despite her reservations, Mara wasn't afraid of meeting Lucian and the others. Instead, her worry stemmed from the powerful and perceptive nature of an alpha. Mara was aware that sooner or later, Lucian would inevitably discover that Paxton was his son. The challenge lay in finding a way to manage this revelation and prevent Lucian from growing suspicious. Sophia, acting as a voice of reason, emphasized the importance of extending invitations to the key figures in Paxton's life. Mara, torn between her desire to shield Paxton and the inevitability of Lucian finding out, grappled with the decision to include Lucian in the celebration. The complexity of Mara's emotions and the intricate web of relationships set the stage for a pivotal moment in the unfolding story. Chapter 232 Birthday. Mama, Paxton called her mother and giggled at Mara. Mara frowned and checked around. She knew her son was not an obedient person. She noticed her red lipstick was gone. Where is it? Mara asked, resting her hands on her hips as she glared at him. Paxton blinked his eyes at her innocently. I am not falling for it. Tell me now, she asked him, squinting her eyes. Paxy, no, he said in his gibberish language. I am not believing it, Mara said. Mara, are you guys done? Sophia's agitated voice sounded from outside. Opening the door with a bang, she saw both her friend and her godson were yet to get ready. Look at them. They kept fooling around and didn't get ready. What do I do, Aunt Laura, with these people? Sophia said as she rolled her eyes at him. Mom, ask your good grandson. He hid my lipstick and is saying. Paxi, no, Mara said as she mimicked her son's words. Laura just chuckled. Mara, Paxi is the kid, not you, Laura said teasingly. Mom, Mara said in an exaggerated voice. Paxton giggled at Mara as if he understood his grandma standing up for him again. There was a Loki smug expression on his face. Hi, my Paxi is a good grandson. Laura picked him up in her arms. Grandma, Mama, bully, he said in a low voice with his wide, watery eyes. Laura could sense his fake, aggrieved voice. Even though she knew it was fake, she melted. Mom, he is lying. Look, that little man hid my lipstick. Without that, how could I paint my lips? Mara said it in her unbelievable tone. Oh, come on, Mara, seriously. You can get ready by wearing that dress and doing your hair and everything yet. You chose to just pass your time with your son and do nothing. A lipstick will paint your lips, not your body. Sophia said it in her angry voice. Sophie, yai. Mara tried to be coquettish. If Paxi had called me, I would have melted for it, not for you. Now get into that damn dress and get ready. Sophia glared at her. Mara just pouted at her. Sophia was annoyed now. She was handling all the decorations and everything. In half an hour, both Paxton and Mara should be downstairs and start mingling with guests. But here they both were fooling around. Aunt Laura, help Paxi. I will help Mara, Sophia said. Laura got Paxton dressed, while Sophia helped with Mara's makeup and hairdo. Mara never put on heavy makeup, primer, blush, eyeliner, lipstick, and SPF compact powder. That's all. For some reason, whenever she tried to apply full makeup, in 2 or 3 hours her face would turn black. So, she goes for very minimal makeup. Sophia let Mara's hair free by curling the end, which made her hair bouncy. In the end, she wore a bottle green gown, completing her look. Paxton also wore a bottle green suit matching with her mother's dress color. Done, Sophia said, looking at Mara. Our handsome Paxi is ready too, Laura said, as she kissed her handsome grandson. Looking down from the window of the elegant lounge, Mara observed the guests arriving. We should, Mara said, and stood up from her place. She took Paxton into her arms. That little devil ruined her lipstick by making art. No wonder he refused to give it to her. The 4 of them walked down. When they arrived at the venue, both the mother and son duo grabbed everyone's attention. Mara adorned herself with a stunning bottle green off-shoulder dress that exuded both elegance and allure. The sweetheart neckline gracefully framed her collarbones, adding a touch of sophistication to her demeanor. The floor-length gown boasted a plain skirt that cascaded gracefully to the ground, creating a fluid silhouette. Above the waist, the dress took on a mesmerizing quality, with intricate crystal work adorning the chest area. The crystals, catching the light with every movement, added a subtle shimmer and a touch of glamour to the outfit. The moonlight exuded from the moon made her dress reflect on it. The embellishments not only accentuated Mara's beauty, but also drew attention to her radiant presence in the room. The back of the dress was adorned with delicate lace, providing a captivating contrast to the simplicity of the front. The lace cover added an element of grace and sophistication, enhancing Mara's overall look. The gown, tailored to perfection, hugged her curves in all the right places, showcasing her figure with a captivating allure. As Mara moved, the dress highlighted her shape beautifully, becoming a magnetic focal point in the room. The combination of the rich bottle green color, the crystal embellishments, and the intricate lace details created a captivating ensemble that not only turned heads but also left a lasting impression of timeless beauty. Some men ogled at her. Women felt jealous of Mara, even though after her pregnancy, she was looking very beautiful, like a woman who just reached her prime age. Despite that fact, Mara has the attention of both men and women. Not only her, but even her son has a lot of attention. Paxton has a serious expression that made him look cute. Just then a woman came to him and poked his cheeks. He threw her a glare, earning a laugh from her. "Abu, how cute," she said to his annoyance. Seeing a woman approach him, a few more ladies approached him, which annoyed this little lady's man. Camila, despite her pregnancy, exuded confidence in a striking dress that accentuated her curves. However, her air of arrogance was swiftly disrupted as Lucian made a grand entrance, accompanied by the supermodel Sue. Chapter 233. Paxton's Father. negative 233. On Paxton's birthday, Mara and Paxton wore the same colored dress. Looking down from the window of the lounge, Mara saw Camila in a hot dress, not caring about others knowing about her pregnancy, but her arrogance was immediately hit. Lucian brought the supermodel Sue to the birthday party. Sophia said that Sue looks a bit like the old Mara. She has a kind of naive and innocent aura, and Camila is completely different from her. There is a moment for Mara guessing that perhaps Lucian can't forget her, but she immediately dismissed the idea. If he couldn't forget her, he'd be alone, not looking for a replacement, which would be unfair to both that dead Mara and Sue. The party started and Mara and Paxton were going down the stairs. They became the center of attention for everyone. Everyone thought Mara was beautiful, and Paxton was cute. And there was also a lot of whispering about Paxton's father. But Mara walked in Lucian's direction. Lucian was breathing heavily and nervous. But Mara went around him and took another person's hand. Mara looked around and saw that Camila was acting all haughty and arrogant. She wore a hot dress revealing most of her skin. Mara frowned at her way of dressing. She wouldn't have judged her if it was any other party, but it was her son's birthday party. This means many couples would bring their kids too. In front of kids, this kind of dressing was not commendable, and Mara was right. Many kids were present. They were running here and there playing around. Also, to Mara, that dress didn't look like something pregnancy safe. It's tight around her eyes. Does she not care about the child in her belly? She wondered. Just then, Camila almost shouted at the waiter who gave her orange juice instead of mojito. "But ma'am, this is an alcoholic drink that is not pregnancy." "Safe," the waiter replied to her softly. "I don't care. I just want that drink," she said, yelling at him, gathering everyone's attention. "It looks like the soon-to-be Luna doesn't care about the Pax air," Mara commented, coming to the waiter's rescue. "Are the rumors about you not wanting the wedding true?" Mara asked Camila with her raised brows. "What do you mean? We will marry each other after I give birth." "Of course I care about the Pack heir. He is our love," Camila said defensively. "Then, why do you want to drink something that could kill your child?" "Do you not want it?" Mara asked. "Of course I do. It's just that I have a craving for it," Camila said. "But you are pregnant, soon to be Luna," Mara said, stressing the last part. "So what?" Camila said it carelessly. "If you can't take care of pregnancy, then I doubt your ability to take care of this pack," Mara said with a smile. Camila widened her eyes in shock. She realized she had walked into her trap willingly. Before she could respond, she realized everyone was paying attention to her. She can't even open her mouth. All she could do was just grit her teeth and glare at her hatefully. However, her air of arrogance and hate was swiftly disrupted as Lucian made a grand entrance, accompanied by the supermodel Sue. Sue, a woman of striking beauty, exuded elegance as she graced the scene. Once a model, her radiant presence captivated onlookers. Clad in a resplendent golden gown that gracefully embraced her curves, Sue emanated a timeless allure. The gown, adorned with a tasteful slit on her right thigh, added a touch of allure and sophistication to her ensemble. Her attire was further enhanced by a dazzling diamond necklace that adorned her neck, catching the ambient light and casting a gentle glow. On her finger, a simple yet charming silver moon-shaped ring added a delicate sparkle, harmonizing with the overall regality of her appearance. Sue's makeup was nothing short of exquisite, highlighting her features in a way that accentuated her natural beauty. The application of red lipstick added a touch of boldness, contrasting perfectly with the golden hue of her gown. The gown itself was a masterpiece, featuring a new and innovative design adorned with mirrors. This avant-garde embellishment not only reflected the latest trends in the fashion world, but also complemented the knight and Sue herself, creating an ethereal aura around her. As she moved through the room, Sue left an indelible impression, a vision of beauty and grace that lingered in the minds of those fortunate enough to witness her presence. The amalgamation of the golden gown, diamond necklace, silver ring, and impeccable makeup rendered Sue a true epitome of elegance and style. She, a perfect fit for a model, Mara felt nothing seeing Lucian with another woman. After all, she was over him. She would leave after developing this hotel to its full extent with her son. Her only concern was him taking her son away. It's not only Mara who was mesmerized by model Sue, but also Sophia. Camila, who was arrogant, turned silent and aggrieved at the sight of Lucian entering the hall with Sue instead of her. Wanting to confront her, she walked towards him, but he just walked past her as he held Sue, protectively slapping her face in public. "Don't you think she looks like you?" Sophia said to Mara. Mara smiled at her. True. Sue has that naive, innocent, and obedient aura of her past self. But now she was not the same. So, he liked her past self, who was easy to control. Not the dominant one. TSK. This misogynistic bastard. But what if he was with Sue? Because he couldn't forget her. Forget it. This man doesn't or couldn't love anyone apart from himself. She immediately dismissed this thought and concentrated on her son. If he were unable to move on, he would be alone, not seeking a replacement like Sue. Such a scenario would be unfair to the memory of the deceased Mara and to Sue herself. As the party commenced, Mara and Paxton descended the grand staircase from the lounge to the center stage, becoming the focal point of everyone's attention. Whispers circulated throughout the room, speculation about Paxton's father adding a layer of intrigue to the celebration. Amid the buzz, Mara found herself walking in Lucian's direction. Lucian, visibly nervous and breathing heavily, awaited her approach. However, much to the surprise of onlookers, Mara veered around Lucian and took another person's hand. The unexpected turn of events left Lucian momentarily stunned, and the room buzzed with a mix of curiosity and confusion. Mara, guided by her own reasons and determined to shield Paxton from the complexities of his parentage, chose a different path, leaving Lucian to grapple with his own emotions amidst the lively celebration. J.K. Chapter 234. The Party. Negative. 234. Mara knew that this would be the topic of question. She knew society would be more curious about other people's matters than themselves. Also, she doesn't want to give Lucian any funny ideas about Paxton's father. And she also doesn't want others to point their fingers at Paxton. So, she decided to ask for help from Leo. In the days leading up to Paxton's birthday party, Mara reached out to Leo for a favor, knowing that it might put him in a difficult spot regarding the potential speculation about him being Paxton's father. However, Leo, being a reliable friend, readily agreed to assist Mara. As a result, many party attendees began to assume that Leo was indeed Paxton's father, and the idea of them being a good match spread through the crowd. "It's him all along," someone in the crowd said. "He is. Those two Pax have been brothers in arms for decades," another added. "Yet, I feel they lack chemistry. The first guy said, Are you saying they had a son without chemistry? The second one said, But why aren't they married yet? As if our pack's alpha and his mate got married. We are pointing fingers at others. She is the lost daughter of the glitter pack. Her family wants to spend some more time with her. Makes sense. Anyways, they both look great. And the family of 3 is picture perfect. Lucian felt jealous upon hearing the gossip around him. I think they look happy and beautiful, don't you think, Alpha Lucian? Someone asked Lucian as they looked at Mara and her family. Lucian felt angry upon hearing his words. That place should belong to him. It would have belonged to you. If you took action, but you didn't. Also, she has a son and a mate. Let's not disturb her, Emerald, his wolf, warned him repeatedly. Despite his efforts, he found himself being burned in jealousy. Lucian, observing this situation, found himself burning with jealousy. In an attempt to assert his presence, he brought Sue to the party, a move meant to grab Mara's attention. Paxton cut the cake, entering the 2-year age group successfully. He played and ate the cake till his small stomach filled up. Paxie, sleepy why? Paxton said to his mother, rubbing his tired eyes. Happy birthday, Paxton. Just then Lucian and Sue came to wish Paxton with their gifts. Mara accepted their gifts and asked them to wait in the ballroom as the dancing would start soon. Mom, can you take Paxton to the room and get him to sleep? I will end this and come back after wrapping everything, Mara said. Laura left with her grandson to go to sleep. Her siblings came and played with her son and left before the banquet due to the situation in their pack. Only Laura was left behind, along with Mara. Sophia was nowhere to be seen after the party started. Mara knew Sophia was a partier. She must have been in some corner to party herself to death and drink to her head. Soon, it's time for the ball. Mara and Leo had their first dance. When they ended, other couples came and danced. As the host and main couple, Leo and Mara should dance at least 3 rounds. In the meantime, they could change their partners. It's their way of socializing which they adopted from different couples. Just then, Sue and Leo got paired and started dancing. For some reason, Leo's expression looked lost and unnatural. While Mara handled the situation with natural grace, she couldn't help but notice a peculiar vibe between Sue and Leo. The two seemed to exchange subtle glances, creating an air of mystery that piqued Mara's curiosity. It was time for the 3rd dance. The partners were swapped again. As the dance session commenced, partners were swapped, and Mara found herself dancing with Lucian. I saw you noticing him even after you left him. Are you scared he would cheat on you, or couldn't bear it? Lucian asked. There was a hint of jealousy in his tone. Yeah, couldn't bear it. After all, he is my mate and father of my child, Mara said with a smile, still looking at Leo and still trying to decipher what he was thinking about Sue. Was he interested in Lucian's woman? But it can't be. He was after her for years. It's not that she hated to part with him. It's that she wants him to not miss any girls because of her. Seeing her look at another man in his presence made him angry. Also, he strongly believed that Paxton was his. How could she do this? To him, despite the festivities, Lucian's suspicions about Paxton's true identity lingered. No matter how Lucian looked, Paxton looked like him, except for the part where he had his mother's iconic and unique blue eyes. Sensing his unease, Mara uttered something intentionally provocative, further fueling Lucian's anger. This tension escalated, and in a bold move, Lucian decided to take matters into his own hands. Unable to contain his frustration, Lucian seized Mara and escorted her to a hotel room. The atmosphere crackled with unresolved emotions, leaving partygoers in suspense about the unfolding drama between Mara and Lucian and the enigmatic connections that seemed to intertwine their lives. The stage was set for a confrontation that promised to bring hidden truths and simmering tensions to the surface. As he pulled her to a hotel room, he was so angry. Right now, all he wants to do is kiss her and fuck her senses out of her brain. She was acting like a brainless woman. Then he would show her and prove her that Paxton was his. Chapter 235. Blurts out the truth. Ch -235. Lucian carried Mara into one of the rooms and locked the door after throwing her onto the bed. Mara was glad most of the guests left, and nobody saw them like this. Just as she got up from the bed, wanting to leave this place. Mara doesn't want to be with Lucian all alone even for a second. He has been absent in her life for nearly 3 years. And he should stay that way. They were both drunk. In fact, she was more drunk than him. To socialize with others, she clinked too many glasses. If not for her resistance to alcohol that she built up over the years, she would have passed out long ago. When she was drunk, even her wolf got drunk. They would be out of control to be sane. Just as she got up, Lucian came to her and pinned her down on the bed. She could feel his anger in her bones. A chill ran through her spine. "Mara, I feel scared we have to leave," Ruby mentioned to her. Mara gulped hard upon hearing her. True to her words, she felt like he would do something to her. For some strange reason, there was this thrill in her spine. "Leave me. I need to go to my family," Mara said, panting heavily. "Why? Do you want to get fucked by that man, Leo? Is that why you hate my touch?" he asked her. Mara gritted her teeth, hearing his hurtful words. This was one of the reasons why she hated him. He never cares about others' feelings, even for a second. "Alpha Lucian, mind your words. Leo is the father of my child. Remember that," Mara said angrily. "Then, I am the father of your child too," he said angrily. "The one whom you couldn't protect, the one with whom you couldn't care or spend time, the one who is your son in the name alone." Mara yelled at him angrily. She used her wolf strength and pushed him away with force. She used so much force that he flew away and hit the wall on the other side. Lucian slid down from the wall and was mesmerized by her strength. He realized there was something that must have happened to her in the 2 years before gaining this tremendous strength. "How did you get strong?" he asked her with his squinted eyes. "Using this much strength when drunk is something only an alpha wolf could do. It shouldn't bother you, Alpha Lucian. I am taking leave now," Mara said to him in a deadpan voice that scared him. "It should bother me," Lucian said. "I don't see the reason," Mara said. "I am your husband," he said through his gritted teeth. "Yeah, the great husband doesn't care if his wife is dead or alive. The one who doesn't care about her and brings a mistress into the home, doesn't bother about the facts and blames his legal wife for the mistress. Hides the legal wife but not the mistress. Gives the legal wife's hard-earned half-decade credits to his mistress, because she is his mate. Leaves his son to die, because he wants to fuck his mistress. And again, blames the wife for all of it, and let the mistress kill the legal wife, arrange a big Luna ceremony for her. Shows the mistress off the world but hides the real wife till this day without guilt. Let everyone mistreat her, blame her for all the mistakes in which she has no part. When she leaves, he gets angry, because he loses an emotional punch that is the husband you were, are, and will be in the future. I don't need you. Leo is a better guy. Sometimes. I feel like he is the only guy who is the best in this world. You can't even be compared to his hair." Mara said it, in anger. Mara's face flushed with anger as she yelled. She didn't realize she revealed Camilla's misdeeds in her anger. Lucian frowned upon hearing her words. He didn't understand what she meant. "What do you mean? Camilla and I were fucking each other while Silas was dying? Who told you? Who tried to kill back then?" Lucian tried to ask her a barrage of questions. Mara stayed silent without answering him. She was confused, seeing his innocent expression. All these days, she thought Camila and Lucian slept together while her son was dying. But from his expression, she felt like she might have been deceived. Camila was the kind of person who could manipulate the truth and lie in a way that she needed. When she was contemplating his expressions and thoughts, she came out of it when she heard her phone ring. It's Leo. Unknowingly, a smile formed on her face. Leo helped her a lot today. She needs to treat him to dinner properly. Unknown to her, Lucian felt even more annoyed. She smiled at the caller's ID, but not at him. Mark her! Mark her! Emerald was getting restless from the moment they entered this venue. Now, seeing her smile, even he got annoyed. Lucian forgot all the questions and words he asked, and she said that before she could pick up the call, he threw the phone to the ground and smashed his lips against hers. I want to feel romantically loved by you above anyone else, Lucian said to her after throwing her phone, even before she could yell at him. She paused her actions for a second and looked into his eyes. Chapter 236 Kiss. I want to feel romantically loved by you above anyone else, Lucian said to her after throwing her phone, even before she could yell at him. Mara paused her actions for a second and looked into his eyes. Hurt flickered in her eyes. She stopped to compose herself. That is why I became your wife all those years ago. But now, Lucian, I am tired. Only I am in love. Everything and every effort came from me alone. But nothing from you. I lost my son too, along with you, yet I was the one who got blamed by everyone, while you are chilling, and then you got your mistress. We cannot love each other anymore. Get this straight, she said, and she was about to get up. Let's give a chance to each other. For one last time, he said. Number. I don't want to get hurt. And besides, I already have Leo and Paxton. There is no place for you. Not to mention, I am being loved by everyone. I am known to the world as someone who is proud, but not someone who is ashamed of what you made me feel. Lucian, you should stop this. And let me and my family live in peace, Mara said calmly. Her eyes were dead, as if she were talking to a wall but not a human. Seeing her plea for a man made him angry. Emerald did not like this version of Mara either. There was a snap in his head. He wanted to claim her. Anger started coursing through his veins. His eyes were dark with a fury he hadn't ever directed her way. The raw ferocity made him beautiful in a whole new way. Despite her rage, she could feel a craving building in the pit of her stomach. She must be drunk too much. But his beautiful dark brown eyes with tints of yellow made her want to drown in them. He looked handsome. Too handsome. Ruby was not getting into her head to speak. Mara felt she was losing control. His dark red lips were slightly parted, while his slightly hooded eyes made him look even more handsome. His flaring nostrils and his slight pants due to his anger reminded her of the times when she slept with him. He was so good in bed that she couldn't get up for days back in those days. Her wolf would take at least 1 to 2 days to heal her. Suddenly, the picture of his sweaty body accompanied by his slight pleasurable groans as he thrusts inside her came into her mind. Her mind shook in fear at that thought. She could feel the wetness that accumulated down there. Damn this spousal bond, and his closeness. This feels so sinful and wrong. Mara felt like she would do something sinful, rather than be angry with him if she were to stay here for 1 more minute. I am leaving, she said and stood up. Before she could take a step, she was pushed back onto the bed by Lucian. He hovered over her and pinned her hands above her head while trapping her under his warm body. What are you doing, leave me? She said. Despite the willingness of her body, her brain was still resistant. For some reason, Ruby turned silent for a while. She didn't hear a thing from her. She could feel Lucian's wolf taking over, but Lucian was trying to keep control of his consciousness while letting his wolf take control of his body. She widened her eyes at this level of control by his consciousness, and Wolf, Mara knew, it was a lost game. Mara, "Don't blame me for this. You did this on your own," he said, in a chilly voice that made her press her thighs together. "Lucian, we." Before she could finish, she felt his lips on hers. Mara and Lucian's lips melded together, fitting against each other with astonishing perfection. The kiss was fierce, soul-sucking, and addictive. Mara had never felt as she did now, exploring the taste of him. Was it the alcohol, or was it that she wanted him all along and couldn't accept it? She felt guilty at the thought of her 2 sons, but his kiss was taking her somewhere. Her brain was turning mushy. She could feel she was melting under him, in his arms against his lips, and in his body heat, sensing the strength of his arms around her. Inhaling sweat, leather, and wood smoke. His sense, she felt as though she'd found a moment of forever. Like this was how they should have always been. The guilt she was feeling slowly evaporated as she gave in to the lust that her body needed. A slow moan left her lips as she felt his hot, wet, slippery tongue gliding inside her mouth. His one free hand lifted her skirt up before he cupped her breast with his long, hot fingers. Chapter 237. The Sinful Night. -237. Warning! Our -18 content. People under 18 are strictly warned to read against this. People over 18 read it at your own risk. Lucian was filled with desire as he kissed her. The taste and the feeling he felt nearly 3 years ago, he felt again. He couldn't get enough. He took off his tie and tied her hands to the bedpost before parting her legs. Mara's stomach flipped, warmth gathered in her belly, and her panties became moist. His closeness made her clit throb. He gently lifted the hem of her dress, using his thumbs to hook around her panties and draw them down to her ankles. With a deliberate touch, he guided each leg through the lace openings, his hand trailing from the top of her thigh to her feet. She let out a low groan, arching her back in response. Meeting his gaze as he knelt between her legs, she cried out as he unexpectedly slid 2 fingers inside her. "Arn day," she groaned. She could break the tie and can leave, but she couldn't. Her body was consumed with heat and desire. Ruby was a goner by now. She could feel her presence, but even Ruby was in heat. The years of not having sex and suddenly her mate came to her and offered her solace made her unable to restrain. Oh my God, she was wet. So wet. She could feel herself dripping so damn wet. She wants something inside her clitoral area to make her itching go away to get out of this. Her breathing turned labored. "Ahan en," she moaned, as if fueled. Lucian did something, making her gasp audibly. With that, he inserted another finger into her folds, thoroughly filling her. She bit down forcefully on her tongue, the metallic taste signaling that she'd drawn blood. However, all she could sense was the exquisite blend of pain and pleasure as Lucian skillfully stimulated her, bringing her close to the edge. Her chest rose and fell. With each suppressed scream she longed to release, but refrained from doing so, aware that it might prompt him to stop. But she couldn't bear to stop. Not when she felt every nerve ending awakening under his touch. As he withdrew his fingers, she almost voiced her objection, only to be pleasantly surprised as Lucian lowered his head between her legs, pressing his mouth to her center. He skillfully manipulated her clit with his tongue, sucking, and drawing her essence out. Good Lord, he certainly knew how to use his mouth. She might have been self-conscious if she didn't feel so unbelievably fantastic. She came on his lips. Lucian licked her every drop, making her legs tremble as they rested on his shoulders. God, she gasped. He moved away to take off his suit and shirt. His upper body was naked. He removed his pants and was left in his boxers alone. His body was just as hot when she laid under him last time. Mara felt she fell in love with him again. Her mind was mushy, while her body was drunk from his touch. Desire ran through her veins like lava, making her unable to feel the loss of his touch. Maybe she will regret it tomorrow morning all over again. But right now, she wants to give in to his touch. She ripped the restraint from her hands, but she didn't leave. She fisted her hands on the bedsheets. Lucian continued to ease the fabric down her body, pausing when it snagged on her hips. With a firm pull from each side, he ripped the satin in two, leaving her exposed before him. Good Lord. That was intense. The thought of what she would leave in barely crossed her mind as he parted her knees and glided a finger along her clit. All she craved was to be lost in ecstasy. He lifted his finger to her lips, guiding it inside her mouth and trailing her essence along her tongue. She tasted like a blend of salted cream to him. More of her arousal trickled down her leg. Lucian turned on even more. Her breasts looked bigger than when she was with him. Her pussy was tighter. Oh, gracious Lord. He wanted to fuck her hard. He removed the last piece of clothing that was on his body while he removed her gown and threw it somewhere in the room. He growled against her back, his voice resonating through her while teasing her nipples once more. "Arr," he groaned. Oh God, her pussy dripped at his groan. This man was a living sex. His every action was just made her feel even more aroused than the previous second. His cock pressed at her entrance. Arching her hips back, she widened for him as he eased in, starting gently and then thrusting forcefully. He pounded against her walls, and an involuntary cry escaped her chest. Every inner surface was touched by him, and with each rhythmic motion, she experienced a profound impact. An orgasm surged, unrestrained and powerful. He moved within her, driving against her clit, propelling her closer to the edge of ecstasy. His hips smacked against her buttocks, creating a rhythmic jostle as he intensified his thrusts. His hands circled, firmly squeezing her breasts until her nipples throbbed with a sweet ache. "Ah!" she yelled. He could feel her tighten herself around him. Lucian felt her coming close to an orgasm that spurred him to delve into her depths with renewed intensity. Thrusting with a force that surpassed any previous experience, her inner walls tightened around him, convulsing and trembling, ushering her into a state of bliss. Sensing his release, she felt him contract, sharing the climax, and as the pace slowed, she skillfully moved her hips around him to prolong the waves of pleasure. Gripping her hips once more, he settled back, bringing her atop him, his erect member still firm within her. Mara was still feeling the heat of the sex that she felt a few minutes ago. Before she could relax, she felt herself flip around, lying on her stomach while he entered her from behind. The night witnessed their union again and again, as they bathed in the faint moon glow that entered their rooms sneakily. Chapter 238 Consequences. Ch -238. The room buzzed with tension as Mara and Lucian confronted each other, their faces reflecting the aftermath of the intense night they had shared. Mara's voice, a mixture of anger and pain, quivered. "Lucian, we need to talk about what happened last night." Lucian's jaw clenched, his eyes revealing both frustration and remorse. "Mara, it is not that simple. Things are complicated. Let's get back together. That's the only solution. I will accept Paxton as mine," he said as he took a deep breath. Arms crossed, Mara shot him a piercing glare. "Complicated. You can just dismiss everything. We can act like it didn't mean anything. It's not like I want you back here." Lucian raked a hand through his hair, his agitation evident. "Mara, this meant something to me, but we can't ignore the consequences either. We shouldn't be on different paths, Mara. I want you back again." With a glare that could cut through steel, Mara retorted, "So what? We just go our separate ways and pretend none of this ever happened." Lucian sighed, his shoulders sagging. "No, Mara, it is not what I want, but it is what we have to do. We're only going to hurt each other in the long run. if you think we had something special last night, you are wrong. Lucian's gaze softened, regret etched across his face. Mara, it was special, but sometimes things are too complicated to work out the way we want them to. Let's go back. A heavy silence lingered before Mara spoke, her voice barely audible. I can't do this, Lucian. Let's part here. Mara. Lucian tried to say something, but she cut him off. Every time I see your face, I remember my deceased son's face. Screw you, she said, and walked away, leaving him flustered, unhappy, sad, and angry all over. Alone in her room, Mara couldn't escape the gnawing regret that clawed at her insides. She paced back and forth, chastising herself for the night she spent with Lucian. What were you thinking, Mara? She muttered to herself, frustration etched on her face. You knew better than to let things go this far. Now look at the mess you've made. The memories of their passionate encounter played in her mind like an unwelcome slideshow. She cringed at her own vulnerability, at how easily she had succumbed to the allure of the moment. Stupid, she berated herself, running a hand through her hair. Mara sank onto the edge of her bed, burying her face in her hands. This is not who I am. I shouldn't have let my guard down like that. What was I thinking, believing it could be more than just a momentary escape? A bitter taste of self-reproach lingered in her mouth as she reflected on the choices that led to this point. Now what? Just another night of passion with no real connection. I knew better. The weight of disappointment settled heavily on her shoulders. Why did I let myself believe there could be something more? I should have known better than to let my emotions cloud my judgment. Mara couldn't shake the feeling of foolishness that enveloped her. She scolded herself for allowing a fleeting desire to lead her astray. You've made a mess of things, Mara. Now you'll have to deal with the consequences. As she sat there, grappling with her internal reproach, Mara couldn't escape the nagging question. How did I let myself believe that there could be something meaningful with Lucian? The room echoed with her self-directed frustration, a stark reminder of the choices she now had to confront. This man was someone who broke her again and again, and she let herself be offered to him on a silver platter. Mara regretted not listening to her brain. Ruby was silent from last night. Chapter 239. Silas's Anniversary. Ch negative. 239. The day had been long, and as Mara returned to her office, a nagging headache began to settle in, casting a shadow over her weary shoulders. She sank into her chair, the dull ache pulsating through her temples. Sighing, she reached for her pill box, fingers fumbling with the latch as she sought relief from the relentless pain. God, my head is breaking, she groaned in a painful voice. Just as she was about to retrieve a pill, the office door creaked open. Paxton, her source of light and joy, peeked inside. There was a big smile on his cute little face. Mara smiled immediately, seeing the bundle of her happiness. She closed the pill box and kept it inside the drawer. Little Paxton, who came here excitedly to meet his mom, saw her painful expression. Concern is etching his young face. Mama, you sick? He asked with a mix of worry and care. Mara managed a small smile, touched by Paxton's thoughtful gesture. Just a little headache, sweetheart, she replied, her voice tender. But I'll be okay. Ever the attentive son Paxton stepped into the room, closing the door gently behind him. Paxy massage you. Paxy will massage your head, he suggested, his sincerity evident. Mara wanted to laugh at her cute son, who looked serious. But he looked just cute with that expression. Mara's heart swelled with warmth. Her gaze softened as she looked at her son, realizing how much he had grown and how deeply he cared for her. In that moment, Paxton became her whole world. She couldn't afford to lose him, especially after the loss of Silas, her son, and his older brother, whose memory lingered like a bittersweet echo. Every time she saw Paxton, she would always think that if fate were not cruel, Paxton and Silas would be playing with each other now. His big, watery eyes looked at her in concern and anticipation. Mara didn't have the heart to reject him. Grateful for Paxton's concern, Mara nodded, allowing him to work his gentle magic on her tense shoulders. She moved to the couch in her office. Little Paxi climbed the couch and sat on it. He sat cross-legged as he started massaging her shoulders with his small fingers. As his small, nimble fingers kneaded away the knots, Mara couldn't help but marvel at the kindness and love radiating from her son. Maybe it's because Paxton was with her, showing his care and concern. She could feel the pain gradually slipping away. Her frowning brows eased. The headache began to ease, replaced by a comforting sense of tranquility. In the midst of this tender moment, Paxton gently mentioned that tomorrow marked the death anniversary of Silas. Mama brother anniversary. Mama brother's anniversary, Paxton said to her. Paxton remembered his brother's anniversary because he heard his mother mention it a few days ago. The mention of her son's name sent a pang of sorrow through Mara's heart, reopening wounds that had never truly healed. She hugged Paxton tightly, finding solace in the embrace of the family she had left. With a deep breath, Mara spoke softly. "We'll go see your brother together tomorrow, Paxton. We'll remember him and cherish the moments we had with him." In that promise, she sought to instill in her son the importance of family, the enduring bond that transcended even the boundaries between life and death. Chapter 240 fainted. negative. 240. The next day, Mara and Paxton visited Silas's grave. Everything exuded an air of tranquility, the surroundings adorned with a serene calmness. Silas's last photograph, displaying a gentle and loving smile, rested atop the headstone. As Mara tenderly caressed the image, tears streamed down her face, carrying the weight of her grief. Paxton, sensing his mother's sorrow, approached with a comforting presence. He wiped away Mara's tears and reassured her. "Paxi will be with Mama like brother." His words resonated with both sincerity and a desire to fill the void left by his departed brother. Unexpectedly, Lucian arrived with a bouquet of flowers. His presence, though not unexpected, added a layer of complexity to the already emotionally charged moment. Paxton, ever welcoming, greeted Lucian warmly, a gesture that stirred a mix of emotions within Mara. The fear of losing another loved one, like she had lost Silas, gripped her tightly. Mara hesitated, her protective instincts flaring up. She couldn't bear the thought of losing Paxton, her only remaining link to Silas. The conflicting emotions within her manifested in a reluctance to let Paxton grow too close to Lucian, despite his efforts to be there for both of them. "Paxton, come here to Mama," she said in a loud, clear voice. But Paxton was dissatisfied. Paxton just liked being with Lucian. He couldn't understand why she would always do this to him. He wants to play with Lucian, play with him, and stay close to him. But she gets unnecessarily angry at him. Paxton, sensing his mother's unease, grew frustrated and ran away. Seeing him run away, just like in the past when Silas ran away during the night of the rogue attack, exactly mirrors a painful memory from Mara's past. The sight of Paxton's departure triggered a vivid recollection of the day she lost Silas. In her overwhelmed state, the image of Paxton momentarily overlapped with the memory of Silas, causing Mara to feel a sudden dizziness. The graveyard, once a place of solace and remembrance, became a battleground of conflicting emotions for Mara. The past and present intertwined, leaving her grappling with the complexities of grief, love, and the fear of loss. In the midst of the graveyard, panic gripped Mara as Paxton, frustrated by her protective stance, ran away. Lucian, understanding the delicate situation, reassured her, "Let me handle this." With a conflicted trust, Mara nodded, allowing Lucian to go after Paxton. Time seemed to stretch as Mara anxiously waited for their return. Eventually, Lucian reappeared with Paxton by his side. The sight of her son, safe and sound, brought an overwhelming wave of relief to Mara. The tension that had held her in its grasp for so long finally released, leaving her physically drained. As her legs weakened, Mara struggled to catch her breath. Lucian, ever attentive, reached out to support her. "Easy there," he murmured, guiding her to a nearby bench. With trembling hands, Mara brushed a tear from her cheek and offered a small, grateful smile to Lucian. In a gesture of understanding, Lucian insisted, "Let me take care of Paxton this time." Mara, emotionally exhausted, nodded in agreement, entrusting Lucian with the care of her son. She watched as Lucian led Paxton back, the tension in the air gradually dissipating. When Mara finally laid eyes on Paxton, the relief was so overwhelming that the strain of the situation caught up with her. Her knees buckled, and she fainted, slipping into a momentary unconsciousness. The world around her blurred as darkness enveloped her senses. When Mara awoke, she found herself in a familiar room, the one that belonged to Lucian in the pack house. The soft glow of sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting a warm ambiance. Lucian sat beside her bed, his gaze filled with concern. As Mara groggily asked about Paxton, Lucian assured her, "He is downstairs watching cartoons." "You don't have to worry." A mixture of gratitude and exhaustion washed over Mara. Lucian's presence and his care for Paxton during her vulnerable moment evoked conflicting emotions within her. Was this a trap to take away her son? The room, with its familiar scent and the comforting presence of Lucian, became a sanctuary of solace. Lucian, sensing Mara's curiosity, broached the delicate subject. "Now," he said gently, "I want to know Paxton's true identity." The air in the room grew thick with unspoken questions and the weight of a shared history, setting the stage for a pivotal conversation that would unveil the secrets surrounding Paxton's existence. Chapter 241: Encountering the Old Rival. Ch-negative. 241. The atmosphere in Lucian's room grew tense as he broached the subject of Paxton's true identity. Mara, acutely aware of the implications of their conversation, sensed that Lucian might have realized the connection between him and Paxton during the recent search. However, she chose to maintain a facade of indifference. "Paxton has nothing to do with you, Lucian. Don't harbor unrealistic fantasies," Mara replied coolly, her words laced with a practiced detachment. Lucian, unfazed, asserted, "You underestimate the acumen of an alpha, Mara. I can feel that he is mine," he added. The tension was crackling now. His dark brown eyes with hints of yellow were peering into her eyes intensely as she tried to evade his questions and queries. But Mara knew the gravity of the current situation. She can't let his pressure get into her and reveal it. He did this years ago and is doing it all over again. If she let him have his way, she would lose her son. Not again. Feeling the weight of the conversation intensifies, Mara shot back. "If you desire a child so fervently, marry Camila and give her a title. You can't let her carry your child and let him live with the title of bastard, right? In Paxton's case, regardless of whose child he is, you have no right to claim fatherhood. I will not let you come back into my life in any way." The air crackled with tension as Lucian's frustration flared. In a moment of fury, Lucian asked Mara if she had wanted to escape him so badly, and if she genuinely desired him to marry Camila. He brought up the painful memory of Mara's supposed death years ago, accusing her of orchestrating a grand deception. Mara, frustrated with Lucian's mistrust and the relentless questioning, vehemently denied the accusations. "What do you mean, Mara? Do you badly want to escape from me that much?" he asked her as he yelled. Mara looked into his hurt eyes. Hurt. This was new. "Do you want me to marry Camila?" he asked again, hoping to see a bit of resistance from her. Mara showed none. Wasn't he the one who brought in the contract first? Now, he was acting as if he were the victim, What a loser. You faked your death and left this place. You deceived me and have the nerve to accuse me, he said. Deceived you? Stop accusing me, Lucian. When you played an indirect part in the whole charade, she said through her gritted teeth. She looked into his eyes, daringly challenging him to rebuke her. Her brown with the hints gold and blue were staring into his dark brownish eyes that made him cover for a second. Her strength was amazing. Her confidence was something he has never seen. Why did she change? He couldn't accept the fact that she became this successful and strong after leaving him. Did he not treat her right? She had the most power in the pack when she was here. But why does he feel like she has more power now than the time she was here? Lucian forgot that power comes from freedom. While he was in his thoughts, Mara was getting angry with every passing second. I didn't fake my death, Lucian. I was set up, Mara retorted. Her voice tinged with a mixture of frustration and hurt. Lucian was stunned again. This was the second time he heard her son. Her eyes didn't seem to be lying. She was not lying but rather telling the truth. Who could be the one who did this to her? Not everyone knew her as Luna. Only people who knew her as a Luna will think of her as a threat. He was sure council members were not the ones who hurt her. If they want, they would have done long ago. It shall be someone he and she knew. Apart from her, when he was lost in his thoughts, she shook off Lucian's hand, distancing herself physically from him. Stop coming after me and my son. Your mate is pregnant and she needs you. Mara said to him. Mara, don't you care about me marrying her? Are you happy with our marriage? He asked. I don't care who you are with, of course. I am happy for you and your mate's marriage. Also, I was not happy when you and I got married. She added, her resolve apparent in her gaze. The room held an uneasy silence, the emotions between Mara and Lucian swirling like a tempest. Mara grappling with the weight of her truths, and Lucian, fueled by a potent mix of anger and confusion, stood at a crossroads. Her eyes were red with anger now, as she looked at him. I don't fucking care who you are. You are a nobody to me. She yells at him and walks out of the room looking for her son. Mara realized she couldn't stay or breathe, standing in the same room as Lucian. As Mara descended the staircase with determination in her steps, she crossed paths with Camila in the foyer. Camila, catching sight of Mara, couldn't conceal the flash of surprise and irritation that flickered across her features. Her resentment towards Mara bubbled just beneath the surface, and she couldn't resist a sarcastic remark. Well, look who has decided to grace us with her presence again. Camila sneered, a bitter undertone accompanying her words. Paxton, standing by Mara's side, was quick to defend his mother. Don't bully Mom, he retorted, a fiery glint in his eyes. Camila, unfazed, shot back. And where did this brat come from again? The tension in the room escalated, the air thick with animosity. Mara, displaying the strength of an alpha werewolf, held her composure. She turned her attention to Camila, her gaze firm and commanding. You can say whatever you want about me, she asserted, but don't feel free to judge my son. You are about to become a mother yourself, and you should understand how it feels. The authority in her voice carried the weight of her position as an alpha demanding respect for her son. The power dynamic shifted, and Mara, with a final stern look at Camila, took Paxton's hand and made her way toward the exit. Camila, left momentarily silenced by Mara's assertiveness, watched as they left the pack house. As they stepped into the cool evening air, Mara felt a mix of emotions. The confrontation with Camila was just a small part of the larger challenges she faced. The truth about Paxton's identity hung over them, and the complexities of their relationships within the pack unraveled like a tangled thread. Chapter 242, DNA Test. Ch -242. Mara left without sparing a glance at the speechless Camila. What angered her more was Lucian, who stood in the room, said nothing, as Mara shut her mouth. How could he? She was his mate. He has to stand up for her. She was angry. She looked at him, but he was fidgeting with his phone. Just then, when she was about to walk towards him to disturb her, she saw the newspaper with him and Sue's posture. How annoying. If not this bitch, it's her. If not her, it's Mara. She hated all these third parties in her relationship. Camila went back to her room and sat on the bed. Miss Camila, shall we arrange food for you? A maid asked. Get lost. She yelled at her, scaring her away. The maid closed the door and stood outside. She knew what was coming. Camila would smash the room now. Camila started throwing all the vases and everything in the room, creating a wreck. She calmed down a little, but then again, the thought of Mara sent her brain into a frenzy. This angered her more, and she created more damage. Camila stood in the middle of the room with the destruction she had done. Her breathing was heavy and erratic. Broken shards of glass scattered showed the anger she was holding in. The maid peeked into the room and saw that it was completely in disarray. She cannot delay it anymore. She should inform their alpha. If not, the heirs of this pack will be harmed. She ran down and saw Lucian reading a magazine. Alpha Lucian. The maid bowed. What is it? He asked. Miss Camila broke everything in her room. I am afraid her emotions would harm the pack heir. She said in a meek voice. I get it. I will go take a look, he said. Lucian got up from his seat and walked to Camila's room. Just as the maid said, the room was in an unrecognizable state. What in the world happened here? Lucian demanded, looking at her. Camila, still seething with anger, turned to face him. Your precious Mara happened. You need to answer me today, Lucian. I deserve an answer. What is it? He asked, a headache coming his way. Are you going to that model Sue, or that Mara bitch again? Camila glared at him, her frustration boiling over. Lucian's patience wore thin. None of this concerns you. Camila, this is my business, my life. You have no right to interfere. She scoffed, her voice dripping with resentment. No right. I am carrying your child. The one in my stomach is our child. I will be the future Luna, and I am your mate, and you say I have no right. Lucian looks at her deeply and scoffs at her. You can't just abandon your child because of that bitch, Mara. Lucian, exasperated, retorted. I won't let you use our child as a pawn in your games. She sneered. Games. This is my life, Lucian, and your child's life. Don't you dare treat it like a game? My child's life. Lucian questioned her. Yes, she says. Are you sure it's my child? He asks her. Do you know what you are talking about? She asked with a panicked tone. I exactly know what I am talking about. He retorted back. Lucian gazes at her deeply before bursting out into a peal of chilly laughter. The air crackled with tension as Lucian's laughter echoed through the room, a sharp contrast to the wreckage surrounding them. If the wreckage done by Camila looked serious, Lucian's laugh sounded vicious. Camila's face turned pale upon hearing his words. She knew the truth about the child in her womb, but she didn't expect him to figure out about it. You thought you could drug me, knock me out, and then slip into my bed without consequences. Lucian's voice carried a mix of incredulity and anger. If I were someone easily fooled, I wouldn't be the alpha of the Lethe pack. Lucian, you can't accuse me like that. I am not Mara to sleep around, Camila retorted. She can't back down now. Not now or never. She came this far. She was 1 inch away from going through the wedding with him. Stop bringing her name into your filthy mouth. I am giving you at least this much respect because of our mate bond. Do not push my limits, he yelled at her, making her flinch at his words. Camila, now seated on the floor, avoided eye contact, unable to mask the realization that her carefully crafted plan had crumbled. But if she backed down now, that man would kill her. She can't let that happen. She needs Lucian and the power he brings to her. This child should be his. If she insists, it will be his. Lucian, this child is yours and ours. It's the symbol of our love. Trust me, please, she said as big, fat fake tears dripped down her eyes. Lucian laughed at her words. You are such a big liar, he said. Lucian continued, his tone cutting through the silence like a blade. Go to the bar, Camila. Have the DNA tests been done? I am telling you. Go to the bar and collect samples of every guy one by one. Then get a test. I am very sure you will find the father of the child. You have fooled enough for a while. All the best, Lucian said to her. Lucian's words hung in the air. She knew she couldn't escape the scrutiny that awaited her. Lucian, ever composed, watched her every action. Lucian's thoughts swirled with a mix of frustration. He couldn't understand the lengths she had gone to manipulate him, to trap him with a child. He hated picking her over Mara. He was cringing every day for every mistake he had made towards Mara. Lucian wished to undo everything he had done, but it was too late. He wanted to leave this cruel woman and everything behind. But he can't do it. Not because he doesn't want to, but because he cannot do it. She was too involved in the pack politics. And remove that tattoo. If not, I will personally drag you to the hospital to get rid of that tattoo, Lucian said, pointing to her neck. Camila got this tattoo similar to the mating mark on Mara's neck. After Mara left, he heard Camila boasting about her mating mark to everyone. He very well knew he never touched her, much less marked her. It could only confirm one thing, that the mark was not real. He investigated and found that she got the tattoo imitating Mara's mating mark. That was when he brought Sue into the picture. Bringing Sue into the picture triggered Camila. She became desperate to have Lucian's baby. He doesn't know how or when she got pregnant, but one day, he found her in his bed. Both of them were naked. Anyone could say things weren't innocent between them when they were naked. After saying his piece, Lucian left the room. Camila sat there in a daze. She knew she was screwed now, but she can't be the only one who dies. She can take others as well. Chapter 243. The Deal. Ch-negative. 243. The mahogany doors of the M Hotel's executive meeting room swung open, and Mara strode in elegantly. The room buzzed with the low hum of conversation as everyone acknowledged her presence. The polished table reflected the ambient light, casting a warm glow across the faces gathered around it. Mara took her seat at the head of the table, her sharp eyes scanning the room. The manager, Mr. Anderson, cleared his throat and began his report. I am pleased to inform everyone that the hotel's turnover has returned to its previous normal level, he announced with a hint of satisfaction. However, Mara's expression remained unchanged. She listened attentively, but her mind was already working on a plan to propel the M Hotel to new heights. Returning to normal was not enough for her. She envisioned the M Hotel becoming the benchmark in the hospitality industry, particularly in the exclusive werewolf community. We need to bring the hotel to the glory that any other hotel could only envision having. This return to normal was not something that was our goal. I would like to hear all of your guys' input. Please go ahead, Mara said, as she looked at everyone. A voice from the far end of the table spoke up, capturing everyone's attention. What if we make Sue the spokesperson for M Hotel? The suggestion hung in the air, and heads turned toward the person who had spoken. Sue, a werewolf known for her pure and noble image within the community, was a surprising but intriguing choice. She has acted in many films and ads and did many runways. She was a rising star and the most popular celebrity, and given her pure and noble image, she used her opportunities very well. Also, the rumor about her being Lucian's mistress added more opportunities. After all, Lucian left the Luna ceremony halfway and didn't marry Camila to date despite her being pregnant. Of course, people dared to imagine that Sue could be the future Luna. Mara's mind flashed back to the night Sue attended the party with Lucian. She remembered Sue's graceful presence and how she effortlessly commanded respect. Mara remembered her very well because she came with Lucian. She was curious why he had been with Sue, but not Camila, despite her carrying his child. Nevertheless, she also remembered Sue because she felt an awkward air between Sue and Leo. Mara pondered the idea. Keeping her work and personal life separate had always been a priority, but this proposal had potential. If Sue could represent the M Hotel with her pure image, it might just be the key to making the hotel more famous and fostering a positive image in the werewolf community. "I want to meet with Sue," Mara declared, her voice cutting through the room's murmur. "Arrange a meeting between us as soon as possible." Mara also wanted to see the woman who had been by Lucian's side all these days. She remembered Sue looking like her past self. Soon, the day to meet Sue will come. Mara and Sue's meeting was arranged in the M Hotel itself. The elegant ambiance of the M Hotel's private lounge provided a serene backdrop as Mara sat across from Sue. The air was charged with an unspoken understanding, and Mara couldn't help but compare Sue's demeanor to the venomous allure of Camila. Sue was not like Camila, who was selfish and greedy. Sue was completely like a delicate rose who was born to be taken care of by others. She was too innocent and kind. Sue was easily approachable and talked to. Mara realized this was her version when she married Lucian in the early years of her marriage. She was just like Sue, who was soft-spoken, considerate of others, and helpful. She swallowed the insults and everything. But now she was not her. She was changed. As Sue spoke, her words were like petals falling gently from a camellia, harmless and pure. Mara envisioned Lucian, captivated by Sue's innocence, and she couldn't help but smile. If Camila was a red rose drenched in venom, Sue was indeed a harmless camellia. Yet, amidst the delicate conversation, Sue surprised Mara with a question that shifted the tone of their meeting. "What is your relationship with Leo?" Sue asked, her blue eyes flickering with curiosity. Caught off guard, Mara sensed a subtle change in the atmosphere. Memories of the dance session at the previous party flashed through her mind, and a guess formed in her heart. She considered Sue's question carefully before responding. "Why do you ask?" Mara inquired, studying Sue's reaction. The blush that crept onto Sue's cheeks and the small fidgety movements of her hands did not go unnoticed. Mara guesses the possible relationship and connection between Sue and Leo. She said nothing but stayed silent. Sue hesitated for a moment, then admitted, "I noticed something during the dance at the party. There seemed to be a connection between you and Leo, something beyond mere friendship." Mara chuckled, appreciating Sue's perceptiveness. "Leo is a dear friend and a trusted ally. We've been through a lot together." Sue nodded, seemingly satisfied with Mara's response. The air lightened as Mara redirected the conversation back to the purpose of their meeting. "I am here to discuss the possibility of you endorsing the M Hotel. Your pure and noble image aligns perfectly with the values we want to project. It could make a significant impact on our reputation," Mara explained, steering the conversation away from personal matters. Sue's eyes lit up with interest, and a genuine smile graced her lips. "I would be honored to endorse the M Hotel. I believe in the vision you've shared, and I'd love to contribute to its success." Mara returned the smile, pleased with Sue's enthusiastic response. "Fantastic. And as a gesture of appreciation, how about I arrange a date for you and Leo?" Sue's cheeks turned an even deeper shade of pink, and she couldn't hide the excitement in her eyes. "That would be wonderful. Thank you, Mara. Chapter 244. Mara is dead. Negative. 244. Mara got ready for her office. She left Paxton with a caretaker and left her apartment. The car door creaked open and Mara prepared to step out, but Leo swiftly moved past her, taking the driver's seat without a word. His stern expression caught her off guard, and she could sense an undercurrent of anger. Concern etched across her face. Mara cautiously asked, "Leo, what is wrong?" Leo's grip on the steering wheel tightened, and he finally voiced the question that had been haunting him since their unexpected date setup. "Why did you arrange a date for me and Sue? Are you trying to push me away that much?" His tone held hurt as he spoke. Mara sighed, meeting his gaze with sincerity. "Leo, I know about you and Sue being mates." She knew this conversation would come up sooner or later, but this reaction from Leo was not something she expected. Leo's eyes widened in shock. He had never disclosed the scent of mates to anyone, and the revelation left him speechless. Mara continued, "But if you are thinking about breaking the mate bond, Leo, you should know how debilitating it is for a werewolf. I want you to find your true happiness. And if it is not with me, don't waste your time on someone who doesn't deserve it. Mara, I will decide what will bring me happiness. Do not push me like this," Leo said to her, looking into her eyes. "Then I am also telling you, don't stick to me. I am not your happiness. I don't want to date or marry anyone anymore in this life," Mara said. "Call her pathetic. She still hasn't moved on from Lucian. She still hasn't moved on from her son's death. She can't even get over the two important men in her life, even after years. Then how could she let another man enter her life and her son's life as a father? She admits that Leo was a good friend, and her relationship with him ends there itself. She couldn't feel more for him." Mara explained this to him many times, but he didn't listen. She doesn't want to hold him back anymore. "Mara, I know and understand what you are saying." Leo was about to respond when a loud screeching noise pierced the air. In an instant, a truck careened towards them. Leo's instincts kicked in, and he swerved sharply, attempting to avoid the collision. The impact was unavoidable, and they crashed into a tree on the side of the road. Leo shielded Mara from the brunt of the impact. Pain surged through his body, and darkness overcame him as he lost consciousness. As Mara struggled to comprehend the situation, another vehicle approached. A sleek sports car pulled up, and to her disbelief, Camila emerged from behind the wheel. The atmosphere shifted as Camila, not one to be underestimated, raised a gun with a chilling determination. Bullets pierced the air, and Mara, caught off guard, ducked for cover inside the wreckage. The car's windows shattered, and the sounds of gunfire echoed in the night. Camila's motives remained unclear, but Mara knew she had to act swiftly. In the chaos, Mara crawled out of the damaged car, her instincts urging her to seek help. She reached for her phone, intending to call for help. Camila walked towards her and raised her gun to shoot her. 等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于等于 Author's notes. This chapter will end in 3 more days. Chapter 245. Another attack. Negative. 245. The soft hum of the hospital room greeted Mara as she gradually opened her eyes. The scent of antiseptic hung in the air, and the warmth of her family surrounded her. Her parents, siblings from the glitter pack, and a myriad of concerned faces greeted her as she regained consciousness. With a mixture of relief and worry etched on their faces, her parents began to explain what had transpired. Camila, fueled by a twisted vendetta, had used silver bullets in a failed attempt to end Mara's life. Frustrated by her unsuccessful attempt to ram Mara off the road, Camila resorted to her backup plan, her gun loaded with silver bullets. Fortunately, her aim was off, and Mara had escaped with her life. Mara's first concern was for Leo. She inquired about his well-being, her heart tight with anxiety. Her parents reassured her that Leo was in the next ward and was stable. Gratitude swelled within her as she contemplated the sacrifice he had made to shield her from harm. With a determined expression, Mara attempted to rise, eager to express her thanks to Leo. However, her family gently restrained her, insisting she needed more rest. They assured her that Leo was in good hands. As Mara settled back into her bed, her gaze wandered to the figure in the adjacent ward. Sue from the glitter pack was there tending to Leo with meticulous care. It wasn't lost on Mara that Leo, who had always been stubborn about accepting help, was allowing Sue to take care of him. Feeling a surge of gratitude, Mara observed Sue's gentle gestures and Leo's responsive smiles. It seemed that in the face of adversity, bonds were strengthening and unexpected connections were forming. Despite her initial reluctance to be cared for, Leo's spirits were high. Sue's persistence and genuine concern seemed to be working wonders. Mara's heart swelled with a mixture of emotions, gratitude and relief. Mara, still recovering, decided to give them some space. She quietly left the room, her family trailing behind. Her parents provided updates on Camila, revealing that she had disappeared, leaving the possibility of her demise hanging in the air. The M Hotel bustled with activity as Mara returned after her recovery. Although she had been away for some time, the influence of her leadership style had permeated through the staff, resulting in a well-organized and efficient operation. The hotel was thriving, a testament to Mara's dedication and the commitment of her team. As Mara made her way through the lobby, she was greeted by the familiar faces of her staff. Paxton, her adorable charge, awaited her with the nanny in the lobby. The little one, having missed Mara during her absence, clung to her with joy. "Mom!" Paxton started jumping around her, seeing her. "My baby Mom missed you," Mara said, kissing his face. "Paxie missed Mom too," he said in his childish voice, melting her heart. "Mom will take you to play," Mara said, pinching his cheeks. "Yay! Paxie eats Koth and Andy cotton candy," Paxton said. "Sure," Mara said. "For that, Mom needs to freshen up. Let Mom freshen up before we go," Mara said. Paxton, the obedient boy, nodded his head and sat quietly. Excusing herself, Mara decided to freshen up in the restroom. When she returned, she was met with an unexpected sight. Lucian was engaged in playful banter with Paxton. Paxton's happiness was being radiated from his face as he played with Lucian. Lucian's original intent was to visit Mara in the hospital, but her parents had denied him access. Learning of her discharge, Lucian had come directly to the hotel. Concern flickered in Mara's eyes. She couldn't shake the worry that Lucian might be aware of Paxton's true identity. Determined to keep the child's secret safe, she discreetly arranged for the nanny to take Paxton away, allowing her to address Lucian without distractions. "Please take him away. I will pick him up later," Mara ordered. The nanny nodded her head. She watched them leave, not caring about Lucian's disappointment over Paxton's departure. "This man doesn't deserve to be a father. He killed her eldest son and she can't let it happen again. She will keep Paxton away at any cost." Lucian looked up as Mara approached. The subtle tension between them was palpable, and Mara couldn't help but wonder what thoughts lurked behind his piercing gaze. As they engaged in conversation, Mara tried to glean any hints from Lucian's expressions. However, the air remained thick with unspoken words. Mara couldn't shake the feeling that Lucian might be harboring suspicions about Paxton's connection to her. "Alpha Lucian," she said. "How are you?" he asked with concern. Mara could sense the genuine concern in his orbs. But she doesn't want to think of it. She has Paxton to think. "I am good," "Thanks for your concern, Alpha Lucian," she said. Lucian looked at her distant demeanor and actions. He felt that she couldn't wait to leave his presence. "Mara, I want you to know that Before he could finish, she cut him off. "I need to leave. I need to accompany my son." With that, she turned her back on him without giving him a chance to talk. With a tactful excuse, Mara left Lucian in the lobby and made her way across the road. The city sounds hummed in the background as Mara navigated the streets, a cloud of uncertainty hanging over her. As she reached the other side of the road, the sudden roar of an engine caught her attention. A car driven with malicious intent swerved towards her. Instinctively, Mara leaped out of the way just in time to avoid the first attempt. The screeching tires echoed in the air, signaling a second attempt. Realization struck Mara like a lightning bolt. Someone was deliberately trying to harm her. Adrenaline surged through her veins. The shadows of deceit and danger loomed, leaving Mara to grapple with the unsettling question of who would go to such lengths to harm her. She took a deep breath to calm herself down. But then again, she saw the same car rushing towards her for the second time. Lucian didn't waste time. He quickly helped her dodge the hit. Chapter 246, The Family Chaos, Again. Ch-negative. 246. The sterile scent of the hospital filled the air as Mara and Lucian found themselves side by side in adjacent beds, nursing injuries sustained during the harrowing attempt on Mara's life. The events replayed in Mara's mind, and the weight of gratitude mingled with concern as she glanced at Lucian. Lucian saved her when the car was about to hit her to death. He sustained such injuries while saving her. Mara felt grateful to him for saving her. She felt complicated again about his actions. Why didn't he leave her and mind his business like his old self? He always watched her get into trouble while she fended for herself without acting or helping her. He treated her like she was a stranger to him and meant nothing to him. She even acted pathetic and like a woman with no self-respect in front of him. But he didn't care. She wondered, but she got no answer as she kept thinking about Lucian. Owen, her brother, entered her ward. Owen was visibly very angry. His bluish-brown eyes were shining and a lot darker than his usual shade. His anger is evident on his face. "This is too much, Mara. You and Lucian are always getting into danger together. I wonder if it's his plot or something." "Stay away from him," he exclaimed, his worry for his sister evident in his voice. Owen never said it out, but he didn't like Lucian much. Lucian always treated Mara like some worthless shit. He hated Lucian for this even before he knew Mara was his sister. Mara, propped up on the hospital bed, defended Lucian. "If it weren't for Lucian today, I might not be here. He saved my life, brother. Scum or not, he saved her. She has to give him for that, despite whatever the reason he has." Despite her brother's disapproval, Mara's words held conviction. She acknowledged the risks but refused to dismiss the integral role Lucian had played in her survival. As the conversation unfolded, Mara's parents entered the room. "How are you, my child?" Laura asked as she went to her daughter's side. "Stop squeezing her arm. There is an IV drip," Leonard immediately warned his wife. "Oh my, did Mom hurt you?" "I am sorry." Laura immediately apologized. "Shall we call a doctor?" She continued looking around to find a doctor. "Mom, I am fine. Don't worry," Mara said with a weak smile. She felt lethargic but nothing more than that. Taylor and Susan barged into the ward. Just then, Sister, the two of them, like an excited squirrel who found its nuts, started hogging around her. Okay. Let her take a breath," Leonard chided her. But Taylor and Susan didn't care. "Sister, do you know we got you this juice? If you drink, you will become energetic in a minute." "Do you want to drink it?" they asked her as they chirped around her. Mara looked at the glaringly greenish-colored juice bottle in their hands. She could already taste the bitterness through her eyes. She gulped in fear, fearing that she might be forced to drink that. Enough. She needs rest. Her food will be decided by the doctor. Not you guys, Owen said. Taylor and Susan put the bottle aside and stood like obedient kids. Leonard, you should respect elders, he chided. We respect our elders, they said, pointing to Owen. You guys have a bright future. Owen complimented them. Mara sighed. This family never gives her a chance to feel sad. Did the police find the culprit? What happened next? Mara asked after everyone was calmed down. There was a deep silence in the ward before Owen opened his mouth. The police caught that person. She is one of your ex-employees. She was fired during the restructuring of your M hotel. After getting fired, she couldn't get a proper job and kept getting fired frequently. She resented you for that. If not for you firing her, she thought she would not have to live a hard life. You are the reason for her hard life, so, if you die, she will be happy. That is why she tried to kill you, Owen said. Mara nodded her head at her brother. That night everyone left. Owen stayed at the relative's bed beside Mara and slept off. Mara was deep in her thoughts. Mara couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. She felt there was something else to the situation. It's as if there was someone else behind this play. The pieces of the puzzle didn't quite fit together. The next day, her ward was guarded by 10 guards and her father started living with her, in her ward chasing everyone away. Laura personally cooked and got over her meals without letting anyone touch her or her food. Moreover, her parents' reaction raised suspicions. Instead of feeling safer after the arrest, Mara found herself under stricter security measures and increased restrictions, leaving her with a lingering sense of unease. Just like usual, her family hogged over her again. They left her only when she said she was tired. Mara still couldn't rub off the fact that she was not told the whole trust. She wondered what her parents were hiding, but she knew it was about her. On the other hand, Laura and Leonard didn't tell her their thoughts. They thought that Camila was not dead but was still alive somewhere. They felt that they needed to protect Mara from a psychopath like Camila. Once the others left the room, Sue discreetly entered, her eyes reflecting concern. Mara, we need to talk, she said, her voice low but determined. What is it? What's with your fierce determination? Mara asked with amusement. Let's have dinner, Sue said. Chapter 247. The Kiss. Negative. 247. Mara hesitated at the entrance of the restaurant, wondering why Sue had invited her to dinner. As she stepped inside, she found Lucian sitting at a corner table, a subtle tension in the air. Mara was not expecting Lucian in the hotel. She wondered where Sue was. Mara looked around, but she didn't find Sue. Just then she received a text from Sue. Sue text, I arranged the meeting for you both. Even he doesn't know you will be here. Mara, Lucian still loves you. He let the rumor fly around about us because he wanted to protect me because I looked like you. We were never really a couple, but rather like siblings. He has done lots of things for you. The painting in the art school, which was your favorite, was drawn by him after seeing you at your glass house. Not only that there are many things he did for you, but I know he wouldn't tell you. Similarly, I feel you have many things too, but you will not say them too. I hope you both sort out your issues and get together. Go for it. All the best. Observing Mara's uncertainty, Sue sent a text message explaining her intentions. The words on the screen clarified that Sue had orchestrated the meeting to create an opportunity for Lucian to express his feelings. She emphasized that they were just friends, and this was a chance for them to address the unspoken truths between them. Mara had complicated feelings reading the text. She didn't expect Sue to orchestrate something like this. Before she could leave, Lucian was already standing there greeting her. "Say hi before you leave," Mara heard Ruby's voice. Mara just sighed and walked forward. Mara took a deep breath and approached the table, where Lucian stood as a sign of respect. The atmosphere hung heavy with unspoken words, each carrying a weight that both Mara and Lucian seemed hesitant to lift. As they sat across from each other, the silence begged to be broken. Mara tried to read his feelings, but she couldn't. His obsidian, dark black eyes reflected the dark, deep abyss that held the mysteries that no one could unravel. The darkness in his eyes showed a mix of feelings and thoughts that made it hard for her to guess. Mara tried to figure out what Lucian was thinking by looking into his eyes. His eyes were like a puzzle, telling stories of experiences, desires, and unsaid and unnamed feelings, along with their shared past. The obsidian black color of his eyes seemed to soak up the subtle yet calming moonlight around them, pulling Mara into a world where they didn't need to speak. She knew she loved his eyes. They held a mysterious charm that she couldn't or would never be able to resist. Mara came out of her daze when a waiter came to them and asked them to order their food. "I will order," Lucian said, taking the menu. Mara just let him. She was tired of thinking too much now. Soon, the waiter returned. All the dishes were her favorites. She wondered where he learned what her favorites were. "Thank you." She thanked him genuinely. He just smiled at her. Lucian's smile spread across his face, forming charming dimples on his cheeks. The corners of his lips curled upward, creating a warm and inviting expression. As he smiled, his dimples added an extra touch of sweetness to his features, making him even more captivating. Mara found herself momentarily entranced by the genuine warmth radiating from his smile, losing track of time in the enchanting moment. Hearing him clear his throat, she came back to her senses. She doesn't know if she has to be embarrassed or angry at herself. The silence was awkward for her. This was the first meal that was in peace after years. "Talk something. Who knows if this will be the last," Ruby said to her in mind. Mara agreed with her. "So, what will you do with Camila after she was caught?" "She is carrying your child after all," Mara said. "Idiot, why do you care what he will do?" "We don't need his affairs," Ruby chided. Lucian wasn't expecting the question, but since she asked it, he would answer her. Of course, handle her according to the rules. Murder is not an easy offense, and adding to the fact that you are still the Luna of this pack. "So, the rules will be stricter too," he said. "Will she be killed?" Mara asked. "Yes," Lucian answered. Mara wasn't worried for Camila, but for the child in her stomach. No matter how evil Camila was, the child was an innocent being. "What about the child?" Mara asked. "Her heart is bleeding for the child. The child is not mine. But that doesn't mean I will kill the child. We will hold her till she gives birth and hands the baby to the orphanage to take care of," Lucian said. "Oh, that's good. The child is innocent," she said with a relieved sigh. Lucian smiled, revealing his dimpled cheeks. He knew that she was aching for the child's suffering, because even he was pained at the possible hurt the child may go through. They lost Silas once. They knew the pain too. Lucian will never let the tragedy repeat itself again. "Did you get a DNA test to confirm even before the baby was born?" Mara asked. DNA couldn't be done before the child was born. How could he do it? Was this a new technology? This needs to be implemented in the glitter pack too. While Mara was thinking in terms of technology, Lucian completely thought about this in different terms. He thought Mara was still worried about him and cared about him. "Clear her about Camila," Emerald's voice could be heard from his head. Lucian agreed with his wolf. "I never had any intimacy with Camila. In fact, I never marked her. She got that mating tattoo on her neck, imitating yours," Lucian said. Mara was shocked to hear that. "Then, what was that video for?" Mara was confused. When she was thinking about the video, Lucian continued. What happened to your mating mark? Lucian asked. After the fire accident, Camila kidnapped me and threw me into the ocean. During that time, I was severely injured, lost memories, and also during that period I lost this mark, Mara said to him. She didn't care whether he believed her words or not. Lucian didn't expect to hear this news from her. He never expected Camila would do that. Well, she orchestrated that accident earlier. She might have been capable of that too. He cast his eyes lower. Mara has every right to hide her identity. So, this was why she hid it. He regretted supporting Camila. A thick silence blanketed again. But again, the thought of Leo made him restless. Lucian, unable to contain his curiosity any longer, ventured into uncharted territory. What is the relationship between you and Leo? He asked, his gaze searching Mara's eyes for the truth. Mara glanced away briefly before responding. Leo and I are just friends. The words hung in the air, and she felt the need to clarify. And Paxton is my adopted child. Lucian's eyes flickered with understanding, yet Mara could sense that there was more he wanted to say. The truth lingered just beyond their reach, waiting for the moment when it could no longer be contained. As Mara and Lucian walked back from the restaurant, the night felt calm and quiet. They were lost in their thoughts. Thinking about the past, something in the air made them feel like the old feelings they had for each other were coming back. As the night drew to a close, a car pulled up to drive Mara home. The air between them crackled with unspoken tension, and when the car door closed, leaving them in the quiet confines of the vehicle, something shifted. Without realizing it, they found themselves kissing. It was like the memories of their time together were making them feel close again. The kiss was a mix of old emotions and a connection that they couldn't ignore. In that moment, it felt like the past was coming alive, bringing them back to a time when their feelings were stronger. They both forgot their differences as their lips molded with each other, like the moonlight delved in the night sky. Chapter 248. Silas is alive. Ch-negative. 248. Mara turned the key in the lock, pushing open the door to her home. The air was filled with unusual tension, and she couldn't help but feel a sense of apprehension as she stepped inside. Her parents and siblings were gathered in the living room, their expressions a mixture of worry and concern. Initially, Mara had prepared herself to explain that nothing had transpired between her and Lucian. She knew her family held reservations about him, and she wanted to ease their concerns. However, as she entered the room, she was met with a surprising twist. The living room was bathed in the soft, muted hues of the evening, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere as Mara's family gathered. Mom, I am sorry. I returned late. How is Paxton? Mara asked. He is asleep after having dinner, Laura answered. How is your date with Lucian? Leonard asked her, observing her reaction. Date? It's a mistake. Sue conspired with that. We have nothing between us, Mara explained to them. We don't mind you getting together with him, Leonard added, surprising Mara. What do you mean, Dad? Mara asked in her shocked voice. Out of all the people, she didn't expect them to be Lucian's supporters. She wondered what changed. Earlier, Lucian came, Laura said. A few hours ago, Lucian spoke with sincerity, addressing Mara's parents directly. Mom, Dad, I am grateful for your willingness to have me here. I understand the mistakes I've made in the past, and today I seek your forgiveness. Laura, with a raised eyebrow, responded. Forgiveness is earned, Lucian. What makes you believe you deserve it now? Lucian nodded thoughtfully. You are right, Mom. I can't change the past, but I assure you, I've learned from it. My love for Mara runs deep, and I earnestly seek a chance to make amends. I am committed to treating her with the respect and love she deserves. Leonard, crossing his arms, remained skeptical. Actions speak louder than words, Lucian. How can we be certain this isn't just another fleeting moment of remorse? Lucian leaned forward, his earnest gaze fixed on Leonard. I understand your skepticism, Dad. All I ask is an opportunity to prove myself. Mara means everything to me, and I am prepared to put in the effort to rebuild the trust I've lost. Laura, softening, addressed Lucian. Lucian, you've caused Mara pain before. We want to believe you've changed, but know that our daughter's happiness is our paramount concern. Lucian nodded earnestly. I respect that. Mom, I know I have to demonstrate, not just assert. I am willing to do whatever it takes to win back Mara's heart. I only hope you can perceive the sincerity in my words. Leonard leaned back, delivering a measured response. We're not making any promises, Lucian. If you are serious about this, then the onus is on you to prove it. Mara's happiness rests in your hands now. Mara stood there, her mind racing as she processed the unexpected turn of events. The weight of her family's acceptance and Lucian's sincere apology hung in the air, creating a moment of pause. In an impulsive burst of emotion, Mara rushed out of the house, her heart pounding. She scanned the surroundings, half expecting to see Lucian's car disappearing into the distance. To her surprise, it was not there. For a moment, she thought he had left heavily, the gravity of the situation hitting her all at once. However, just as uncertainty settled in, Lucian appeared before her. He hadn't left. He had been waiting, steadfast in his determination to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their eyes met, and in that unspoken exchange, Mara felt a surge of conflicting emotions. The night enveloped Lucian and Mara. Under the gentle caress of moonlight, Lucian and Mara found themselves bathed in an ethereal glow. The silver beams painted a luminous canvas, casting an enchanting spell over their figures as they stood. In the silent exchange of glances, a flood of memories and unspoken emotions surged between them. The moonlight seemed to act as a catalyst, illuminating the contours of their shared history, weaving a delicate tapestry of nostalgia and longing. Each glance exchanged carried the weight of moments once lived, and the enigma of feelings that had yet to unfold. Mara's feelings toward Lucian were a complex tapestry, woven with threads of history, love, and unresolved emotions. As she looked into his eyes, the familiar warmth of affection tugged at the edges of her heart, echoing the shared moments they had once cherished together. Yet, interwoven with the warmth was a tapestry of uncertainty and lingering wounds. The past held echoes of pain and heartache, and Mara found herself grappling with the hesitations that whispered through the corridors of her heart. The intensity of their connection, once a source of comfort, now posed a challenge as she navigated the intricacies of her emotions. There was a longing, an undeniable pull towards the familiarity of Lucian's presence, but it was juxtaposed with the fear of revisiting old wounds. The moonlight, which seemed to illuminate their shared history, also cast shadows on the uncharted territories of their future. Lucian, his gaze filled with anticipation, broke the silence. Mara, is there something you want to say to me? Mara hesitated, grappling with unspoken words. Lucian, it is not that simple. Acknowledging the complexity. Lucian nodded. I know, he said, his eyes holding a mix of hope and apprehension. There are still so many unresolved issues between us. Fingers tracing patterns on the table, Mara finally spoke, her voice soft but hesitant. Lucian, sensing her struggle, reached across the table with his hand gently on hers. Take your time, Mara. Understanding, Lucian affirmed. Take all the time you need. My feelings for you haven't changed. I love you. All of a sudden, how do I trust that after you broke me beyond repair? Mara asked. Everyone deserves a second chance. I am asking for that. Our son needs some protection too, and he deserves to be raised with a father. I am groveling now, Mara. I cannot live without you anymore, he said. Lucian, Before Mara could finish, her phone rang. Mom. It's Silas. Sasav. Me, she heard a child voice. Chapter 249, Rescuing Silas. -249. Before Mara could respond, her phone rang, shattering the fragile moment. Mom. It is Silas. Save me, a small, terrified voice pleaded through the phone. Then the line went blank. Hello, Silas. Can you speak again? Mara begged desperately. She started feeling dizzy. The ground beneath Mara's feet seemed to vanish as panic gripped her. Just then, a photo arrived on her phone, rendering her incapable of standing. Lucian rushed to her aid, only to discover that the image portrayed someone resembling their deceased son, Silas. Lucian was shocked to see the photo. He was speechless and motionless for a while, before recovering from his daze. He looked at the almost unconscious Mara at the mere message of showing their son being alive. Lucian. Our son is alive, Mara stammered. Lucian didn't reply. This was a disadvantage for women. They believe everything they say and don't think with their brains but rather with their hearts. As long as they are given a little hope in their desperate times, they believe it with their hearts, which leads them to heartbreak. Lucian badly wants to believe it's Silas, and he is alive. But he knew that, given the situation they were in, they couldn't believe everything they saw, because traps were laid everywhere, and that doesn't mean he was ruling out the possibility that Silas might be alive. He has to look after Mara's safety, too. Below the picture, a chilling message demanded Mara's attention. If you don't want Silas to die again, come to the warehouse in the east of the Lethe Pack all alone to meet him. Lucian was more sure that whether Silas was alive or not, the enemy was luring them into a trap. The only way to catch the enemy and erase him was by walking into it. And also, if it's true, they might be able to reunite with their supposedly deceased son. I will go. I will get my son, Mara declared. She has been grieving for her son all these years, crying again and again. Now here he is. Her son was alive, breathing and kicking. She can't wait to run to him, take him in her arms, kiss him, and cuddle him. Her son was alive. Ruby, our son is alive, Mara said. Ruby was already crying buckets, knowing her son was alive. Lucian, however, insisted on accompanying her, determined to shield her from potential danger. I will go with you, Mara. I want you to be safe, Lucian said. Concern etched Mara's face, as she worried not only about the safety of Silas, but also about Lucian's well-being. I can go alone, she said stubbornly. But what if it's not true? Lucian said it out loud. Mara was evading this question from the start. There is a 50% chance that her son was not alive. But she doesn't want to accept it now. The ominous email specified her presence alone, raising doubts about the photo's authenticity. Could it be a forgery? A twisted game played by an evil force? Mara, you can't go alone, Lucian emphasized all over again. I just want my son back. I would lay my life for him, and I am much stronger than before. Mara spoke to him with strong determination in her voice. Mara, I know you are strong, but you don't know how many people will be there or their strengths. Lucian specified. Mara knew going there could mean death. But she would choose death if she could get her son back. Her life meant nothing to her. There was a silence between them. She has these very issues in her head too. But these things seem to be smaller at the thought of her son being alive. Moreover, those people were their enemies. What if they torture her son? Was he well? Was he fed well? Or was he healthy? Was he warm? Did he cry for her? Who took care of him when he was sick? He doesn't like to eat peas. Did anyone feed them to him forcefully? Mara's heart bled the more she thought about it. Another phone call shattered the silence. The voice on the other end was unmistakably that of Silas. Mom! Silas's voice sounded. Mara will never forget her son's voice. She would recognize it in a heartbeat. It's her son. She knew it. He was alive. God blessed her. She protected her son. It doesn't matter if her son was sick or on his deathbed. She would rescue him at any cost, will give him the best treatment, and spoil him more than anyone in the world. She will tell him that he has a baby brother now. Yet the ominous warning echoed once more, emphasizing the dire consequences if Mara dared to bring anyone along. Silas, are you okay? Talk to Mommy, Mara asked, desperately wanting to know his well-being. He is fine. Come alone only if you want him, he said. I will, Mara said in a shivering voice. If you act smart and bring someone else with you, you will lose your son again permanently. Mara shivered at those words before she could say something. The line went dead. Still. She was happy. She knew her son was alive and heard his voice twice. All she had to do was bring him home. I will go alone, Mara specified stubbornly. Mara, I can understand what you're feeling. Do you think I don't want my son? I have grieved every day for him too. I wish that it was a dream and a bad nightmare. But after 5 years someone was telling us that he was alive. We have to be sure whether it's true or not. Even if it's true, you can't die while trying to save him. He is going to meet you after so many years. If you die, do you think our son will live happily? His every day will be a harsh reminder that he is the result of your sacrifice. Do you want him to live guilt? Lucian burst out. Yes. Her feelings are true and justifiable, but she can't think of herself alone. She has to think of her son's feelings, her family, and everyone around her. Yes. Being a mother is great, but being alive is important too. Don't forget there is Paxton too, Lucian reminded her. Mara broke into tears in his embrace. Seeing her in tears, Lucian's heartbroken. He was the reason for her current condition. He and the pack constantly reminded her that she was the cause of Silas's death. That was why she was behaving this way. I am so sorry. It's all my fault. If I hadn't been attacked on my way to the park and was faster, we wouldn't have missed our son all these years. You wouldn't have taken the blame for his death. I am so sorry, Lucian said, kissing the top of her head. Lucian doesn't know that Camila showed Mara a fake video of them being together. Meanwhile, Mara was stunned to hear that Lucian was attacked on his way here. This proved that the video Camila shown her was fake. But who was the one that looked so like Lucian in the video? Mara was confused now. She doesn't want to think about it now. She will find answers after rescuing her son. Chapter 250. Mara is in action. negative 250. The agreed time and place loomed in the darkness as Lucian and Mara arrived, tension palpable in the air. The gravity of the situation prompted Lucian to make a protective decision, instructing Mara to wait in the safety of the car while he ventured in first. Wait here. I will go first. I will bring our son back, Lucian said. Mara nodded. As Lucian disappeared into the shadows, Mara anxiously watched the minutes tick by, each second amplifying the silence between them. More than 2 hours passed, and Lucian hadn't arrived. Unable to longer contain her worry, Mara stepped out of the car and cautiously approached the designated spot. The ominous surroundings seemed to close in as she searched for any sign of Lucian. Anxiety gnawed at her, and the stillness of the night only intensified her unease. As she continued to look for Lucian, a sudden wave of dizziness swept over her. When Mara regained consciousness, she found herself lying beside Camila's lifeless body, a sight that sent shocks through her. panic set in as she scanned her surroundings, the realization of her proximity to the deceased further unsettling her. Turning her gaze, Mara's heart skipped a beat as she saw Lucian. Unconscious and covered in blood, fear gripped her, and relief flooded through her when she realized he was still breathing. The room, now tainted with an air of danger, became the stage for an unforeseen tragedy. Just then, the culprit revealed himself, emerging from the shadows with a sinister presence. Louis stepped forward, with a sinister grin. Mara's eyes widened in shock seeing him. She remembered him. He was one of those burly men she saw during the rogue attack when her son died. "It's you!" she yelled. "You never thought you'd see the day, did you, Mara?" Louis sneered. "The Glitterpack's princess is at the mercy of the bastard son." Mara's brows furrowed in bewilderment. "Who are you? What do you want?" she demanded, her voice tinged with fear and defiance. Louis's father, Dimitri, the king of rogues, kidnapped Mara. He wanted to take her special power but couldn't. While he was doing his experiments on extracting her powers, he ordered his witches to seal it. What he didn't expect was for Mara to run away. That was when Louis stepped in. Louis was mentally sick. Dimitri admitted him to a mental asylum, but that only made Louis bitter. Louis thought his father hated him for being weak, and Mara was an opportunity for him. Mara's eyes widened with realization, and a surge of fear washed over her. "Why? Why do you torment us like this?" Louis smirked, his eyes gleaming with twisted satisfaction. "My father discarded me like a broken toy, but now I can show him my capabilities." Mara, still grappling with the shock of the revelation, questioned further, "What about Silas? Why involve my son in this madness?" Louis chuckled again, the sound sending shivers down Mara's spine. "Silas is merely a pawn in this grand game." As Mara attempted to process Louis's scheme, a groan from the corner drew her attention. Lucian, battered and bruised, was stirring. Mara rushed to his side, her eyes filled with a mix of concern and determination. "What is all this?" Mara demanded, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and anger. Louis looked at the unfolding scene with a sinister satisfaction. "You will be the ultimate weapon for me. I will prove to my father and everyone that I have more power than anyone in the world." Louis has never been normal. He loved his father so much that he didn't realize that his father regarded him as a thorn in the flesh. Louis escaped from the hospital. On his way, he met with Camila. Camila was also crazy. When he met her, Louis felt he had met someone who could truly understand him. Her intentions aligned with his too. She wanted to replace Mara as Luna. That is why she slept with Louis. His back was similar to Lucian's. They made love while he ordered the rogues to attack Mara from one side and block Lucian from the other side. It's a foolproof plan. They even killed Silas. After that, they brought Silas to his place and hid him. Do you know, when I heard Camila say to me that your face turned pale after seeing the fake video of her and Lucian sleeping together, I laughed so hard. It's me and her who slept. Louis laughed out loud. Mara could feel that this man was feeling so confident that he started laughing like a lunatic. Mara expected it to be some man, but never expected it to be this man. But still, she didn't get why he killed her. "Then why did you kill her?" Mara asked. Louis's eyes flashed with murderous glint upon hearing that question. But soon he laughed out loud. "She miscarried my child in the process of killing you. She couldn't even protect my child. She deserves to die." Louis said it darkly. "You are no different from her. You created more unfortunate families by separating Silas from us." Lucian said weakly. "You shouldn't be the one to talk, loser. You let us block you after seeing a fake video of Mara and Silas being captured. How pathetic, and still you have the nerve to blame your wife." Louis retorted as he stomped Lucian's face with his foot. As Louis stomps Lucian's face, Mara realizes her silver handcuffs are loose. Silver was meant to limit their powers. If it was the previous Mara, this would have been enough. But now she was powerful, and her seal was completely gone. "Mara, leave it to me," Ruby said in Mara's head. Soon, with the help of Ruby and her unsealed werewolf powers, Mara ripped her cuffs and made herself free. Dimitri was tired and went back to his seat. "I will extract your powers, gifted wolf," Louis said darkly. Mara said nothing. She lowered her head to hide her gleaming sapphire blue eyes, which were bursting out of energy. She helped Lucian to break his cuffs. Lucian was just too weak from blood loss, but he wouldn't sit back just like that. Mara suddenly pounced on Louis, making him unable to escape. "You bitch!" he yelled, and he was about to attack her, but Mara was quick to break his legs. The crisp sound of bones breaking could be heard in the room. "Arr!" Louis yelled in pain as she broke his legs. Louis was about to turn into a werewolf to tear Mara apart, but Lucian was quick. He had already turned into a wolf when Mara was taking care of him. He snapped Louis's hands and restrained him with his cuffs. Mara, who had already noticed the wolfsbane in his chair, poured it into his mouth, emptying it. Louis started coughing out his blood badly. He looked like he was on the verge of death. Even if he wants to retaliate, he can't use his wolf powers anymore due to the wolfsbane in his body. "It's time to unite with our son," Lucian said. Mara turned into human form and started looking for her son, along with Lucian. Mara couldn't wait anymore to meet her son.